Hello, welcome to the Critical Obsession podcast. My name is Mirella,
And I'm Zoe.
and today we're going to react to episode 11 of Last Twilight. I'm trying so hard to sound the opposite of what I'm feeling right now, to sound okay. Am I doing a good job? Please tell me I'm doing a good job.
You're doing a good job, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right, fam. I have screenshots to share with everybody about the actual contents of what's going on right now.
Evil. Although maybe you'll forget. I hope you'll forget this one.
I have like 4 screenshots.
No,
I
not embarrassing at all.
Yeah, but then you started threatening me, and I'm just like, wait, hang on a minute. And I almost sent the link to someone else who would be sleeping right now because it's like after midnight. But anyway,
How can they sleep? Last Twilight is coming out, episode 11.
Well,
Wake everyone up.
I know, right? Most people where I am are asleep, but except for me because I'm not normal. But that's okay.
Normal. We're talking about normal again.
I know, right? So we don't want to be normal. Normal's not fun.
I think we should just start because nothing good is going to come out of this conversation.
I was like, translation. I think we just should start right now because I have zero chill and I want to watch the episode.
Maybe.
Yeah, we need to know. I think we're gonna find out in this first part whatever happens. So, let's go and watch the first part, and then we can, if we need to, have mental breakdowns.
Let's go. Part 1.
How are you?
You know. Have you cried?
No, but it was close at the end there.
Me neither.
Yeah. The previously on was going for the jugular, and I was like, I feel like this doesn't bode well. And by that I mean, because I feel like we've made it pretty clear that we sort of didn't really want Day to get his eyesight back because it sends the wrong message, like for the drama, what we thought they were trying to say. And I said to you earlier that I was feeling conflicted because I don't want that. Like I didn't want them to send the wrong message. Like, so like the outcome is we didn't want him to get his eyesight back. But then we've been talking about it, you know, for the last week or so, and about how, like, if this was someone in your real life situation, you would want,
I mean, that's clear. It's obvious that in real life situation.
Oh yeah, but you would want them to have every opportunity. Yeah, every opportunity.
I did not change my mind at all regarding how this story.
No, well, it was funny. It was funny because, like, as I said, like real life situation, you would want everyone to have every opportunity they could, and if this was something that was available, you would want it to work. But I was pretty firm on how I thought it should go, based on the message of the story and everything like that. But today in particular, and I don't know if I've had a really bad week, so I don't know if it was just I was feeling emotional today or whatever, but I was feeling conflicted because we love these characters now. So, okay, they're not real. But I was having that conflicted feeling about, while I wanted the show to go a certain way, I also like wanted the best for Day. Because
I know, isn't it funny? Because we're like, well, she shouldn't get his vision back, but at the same time, please let him have his vision back.
So horrible, like all of a sudden, like, you know, banking on and wishing for like him to have pain, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I had to sort of like come back to myself and say, well, you know, like, it is a fictional character, and my brain's like, you're a fictional character. Yeah, and so like with the previously on and that, I'm thinking, oh no, this is making to he's not going to get his eye. Like, I don't know why, but that's what it made me feel. Like, I was like, I just the way they laid the previously, like all the scenes we got and everything, I was like, yeah, he's not getting his vision back. And I was just I was kind of like expecting what we did have happen and stuff like that, so I was kind of a little bit, I guess, maybe numb to it. I don't know. But I'm really glad. I will say one thing, I'm really glad that I feel like this episode at least probably is going to be the last occurrence of eye donation. I'm
Well,
never going to have to suffer through eye donation again. At least I hope not. I really do hope that
yeah.
I never have to hear the words eye donation again.
And you continue saying it.
I know.
Do you not hear yourself?
I know. Do you
Doesn't
know
it
why?
bother you?
It broke me. It broke me. Eye
Zoe trying to
donation.
fall asleep. Eye donation, eye donation, eye
Yeah, I
donation.
know, right? Well, it's like when I said to you earlier about I woke up and I was like thinking about cooking up like onions or something. Obviously, I was hungry. I'm like, I'm gonna be going to sleep being like
Next
eye
time you'll be
donation.
thinking of eye donation.
Yeah.
Well, me, I have been thinking about it. I've been reading people's opinions, and I was firm on the idea that he should not get his eyesight back because it does a disservice to the story and to the theme and to what they've been trying to say through this story, as far as I understand the meaning of it.
Mm.
And they did basically what I expected to happen because it feels like they killed the last hope. They brought this up so that they can kill this hope for his vision to get back.
The thing is, though, like
Because I
when
feel
he
like
was told that he was completely blind, I would have thought that would have done it. But okay, but
I
yeah,
think,
I
yeah,
get
I've
what
been
you're
thinking
saying.
about
Yeah.
this too, and we talked about it. We talked about the fact that not a lot of people know that once you don't see at all, it's not possible to get your eyesight back. I didn't know that.
Mm.
And I think they used this in order to make the story more melodramatic and everything.
Mm.
And like if they could have just said, no, it's impossible for you to get the eyesight back, but they wanted to have this, this last hope killed, this last form of hope, because they killed exactly a type of hope, the hope for the eyesight. And now they're going to focus on another type of hope, the general one, the hope, just hope for happiness, hope for
Hope for the
for
unknown,
for
for the
some
future. Mm.
for future, yeah, for something to make your life worth living. This is the hope that everyone should be having, that no matter what you lose, no matter what happens to you, you can move on, you can go on, because if you focus on one thing, you can lose it. If you focus on one person, if you base your whole happiness on one person, they can leave you, they can die, they can, a lot of things can happen. So
Morella going
it's,
really dark really early on.
yeah. And one thing that I liked, I was pleasantly surprised, was the fact that the mother, we had that conversation with Mock before the operation. Although I don't know what they're going to do, if she backtracks out of that, if she only said that because she thought Jay would get his vision back. I don't know. I hope not, but who knows? But I think it was a nice touch to not to wait until he
Was better
gets the
potentially.
news. Oh no, not to wait until he gets the news that he'll be blind and then have the mother accept Mock. I think this is better. This is much better.
It is better, but I'm like you. I guess because she was so nasty. Like, no, she wasn't nasty. That's wrong. But she was. I found her nasty, if that makes any sense. Previously, it's like and kind of irrational. She was irrational. That I don't know that I trust that this wasn't like she wasn't high on this idea of him being,
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm
her being
concerned.
happy about it. So I'm
Yeah.
concerned, but I'm kind of optimistic because I do think in these scenes that we had leading up to um not only his surgery but the reveal and then the aftermath of the reveal, I feel like she did see some things that she was blind to previously.
I don't
So
think she was blind. She wasn't blind. Did you see the preview when she was talking with Mock? She was crying not only because of Day and what he's been through when they were away. She was crying because of Mock, because she had to, you know, tell this stuff to him, because she knows how much Mock helped Day, how much they like each other. I mean, it's obvious, and it was not a good. Uh, it was. She didn't feel good, making him feel like that in that moment in the last episode. But yeah, we talked about it.
yeah, so
So we
we
started good with the eye donation.
oh
It was
god.
like
And then of course
almost like the first line of this episode. Eye donation.
I know, and I
Okay,
literally
I think we're being a bit mean with the eye donation because this is a translation, and maybe who knows? Maybe
I
they're
know.
not.
I would love somebody who like speaks and everything Thai to tell me whether or not that is actually what they're saying, because
But
I'm totally down to be wrong and just be like, but you know what? I kind of a little bit feel like if it actually does say cornea transplant and not eye donation, then I'm gonna feel like my whole life was a lie.
what I want to say is that I'm thankful we have a translation. It's good.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, we're making fun of the eye donation, but we're happy they're translating this for the
Oh my
international.
god. Yes, we most definitely are. So,
So yeah,
if it is actually eye donation translated correctly, well, I'll also forgive them for the medical inaccuracy because, well, it's a drama. It's not, they've done pretty good. They're at least like doing well on the things that are really important about this show, like
yeah,
the messages that they've really obviously researched certain things that, and I feel like
yeah.
that's really important. Whereas this
We're
is,
being nitpicky with the terminology. I
yeah,
wouldn't have noticed
because
this. I don't think I.
yeah, because the like end game isn't him getting his sight back, and it's really actually not about like really what happened to his eyes, or none of that actually is really that important in terms of like the main point of this story. So maybe a little bit of research wasn't done enough or something like that, or maybe there is no translation for cornea transplant, and so that's why it's just eye donation. But either way, it triggers Zoe. I know everyone probably thinks it's really funny that it triggers me, and well, this will probably be the last time I get triggered. Although I kind of feel like I should say never say never, because if it gets mentioned next
Never
episode,
say
I'm gonna
never.
like, yeah, I'll like, you'll be like, did you cry? I'll be like, yeah, because they said eye donation again, and I thought we were past that. But yeah,
So everyone
anyway,
has
so we had Night
every
go for a cigarette, leaving them alone, and I was like, when he was looking at his packet of cigarettes, I was like, oh, because I wasn't sure, because we know that Mort quit. Did we think Day
yeah.
had quit? I thought Day had quit too. I mean, I thought Night had quit
Nice.
too. I don't know why I
I
thought
think
that.
he was feeling so pressured because, he still thinks it's his fault. He still thinks maybe he can finally let go of this guilt and things can be fixed.
Well, I
This
mean,
whole experience can be erased because he still thinks like feels like it's about him a little bit.
yeah, of course. And I mean, the other thing is besides it, like there being a possible relief factor to it, it's a major surgery, so things can go wrong as well. So he's probably a
Mhm.
little bit scared. I don't know whether he necessarily was leaving them on their own on purpose. I mean, I do think he's like, you guys need to talk. But yeah, I don't know why. I had in my mind that he'd quit smoking because of the baby, but we didn't actually see anything for me to like for there to be a reason for me to think that. So I don't know. But when he was like pulled his cigarettes out and he was looking at them, I was like, no, you quit. And then I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah. So that moment between Mock and the mom was very sweet. He was offering support, and she accepted. She smiled at him.
Yeah,
They
her
needed.
little
It's like,
small, her
yeah,
little
they
small
needed each
smile.
other.
Yeah, her little small smile that she gave him in that moment was almost enough for me to forgive her. And then I was like, no, I need more.
Yeah, I thought they needed each other, and they were there for each other in that moment because
Yeah,
they're the people that love Jay the most, and there's no one else who can understand this better than them.
yeah. The thing that like
Ever.
really, well, yeah, this is right. You're very much correct in that, because she has her, mother's love, and he has, the lover's love, and that just sounds really bad when I say it because of weird alliteration. But anyway, but with Knight, his is tied up with his guilt and all the rest of it. So his feelings are different, and he can't comprehend what they feel, and they can't really comprehend what he feels either. So the bit though, the next part, this, if I feel like the closest I actually got to crying was this next bit where the little
Oh
prince is
yes!
back,
Oh my
and we've got
god!
this montage of scenes, which
Oh
is obviously like daydreaming while having surgery and things like that. When you have
yes!
like
Oh yes!
anesthesia,
Yes!
you
Oh.
have like these like weird fever dreams. Um, And
Yes.
it's like this
Because this is
montage of
what he was
all the
most excited
times.
about. Oh
Yes,
God.
all the times that he saw Mork or almost saw Mork, and I was just like,
Mork was
this
Mork was
this is
his
the
freaking
most.
dream. He
Yeah,
was
I
his
was.
dream.
Yes, I
And
was
I
like,
mean it as his dream, his dream literally and figuratively, because he was dreaming to see him.
yeah.
It was his wish. Like, oh,
And this montage was like tragic and beautiful and depressing and like the best thing I've ever seen. And I was just like, I very much applaud the way they did this and the fact that they included it. And I felt like this was the moment that really almost got me. I was just like, no. And everybody is so happy. Everybody is so happy. Everybody was too happy. I was like, yeah, he's not going to get his eyesight back. They were too happy. Too happy. Like, I can't believe none of them was the voice of reason. Like, someone should have been tempering them and being like, now it might not work. They were just galloping away with all their future fantasies. It was always going to come crashing down in a spectacular fashion. But anyway,
we did have some. Oh, and also when he was dreaming and like I think we are supposed to think that he was listening to the story, right? When he wakes up, he was listening to Little Prince, which is the beginning of their story. This is the first book that represents like the first book, the first chapter of their relationship, the beginning. It was so nice to see Night and Day joke around. Bravo jokes like "you'll die if you fart."
yeah, I know all the
Yeah.
banter and everything was very, very cute. As I said, everyone was so happy, and I was just like, oh crap. When everyone's so happy like that. And then the bit
But
where
he wasn't there though. She was with Night and Day, and Mark wasn't around, and he had to wait for them to leave to have to come and see Day,
sneak
which is
in,
so
the way
yes.
he's like, I waited, like they left the door unlocked, and so I like a burglar snuck in. But I'm just
Yeah,
like,
but
oh my,
Mock
oh
comes and suddenly, like, nothing is bothering Day anymore. He
no,
stands up. He's so happy because when the mother was there, so, I'm so uncomfortable. Everything is itchy, blah blah blah. And Mock is there, and suddenly, ha ha,
yeah, he's like, are
sunshine.
you okay? And he's like, I'm fine, man, I'm fine. But no, I'm sorry, like Mork and his Jasmine, like bringing this was the cutest thing ever. Like, now this person,
Yes.
you're dating the rich son of a like famous chef, and like if it was anyone else, they would have bought some crazy huge boutique, a bouquet rather of not a boutique. I'm gonna bring this huge shop inside the hospital room. No, a bouquet of flowers or something, and then Mork's just got this little bunch that he's probably just pinched out of his front garden, but it's like so meaningful and so thoughtful and so considerate, because not only does Day love it, but it's also this thing that calms him down too. So
And something that
it's
he can appreciate right now. It's not like he has to wait to see it. He can
that's right,
appreciate the
he
sound
knows
right
what it
now.
is. Yeah, it's just, and it's intrinsically theirs almost now, so it's really like the whole thing was very romantic and very sweet and very considerate.
And then we had the line, "Do you think the problem is with me that I can take care of you?" And I did not like that being pronounced in that moment.
Yeah, I look, there was so many things in this part of this episode that actually triggered me majorly, because they looked like a lot of foreshadowing. So there was the whole bit
Mhm,
as well. Like I literally wrote in my notes, I hate it here. I hope none of this
mhm.
is
Yes.
foreshadowing, because
Oh, please. Of
Day
course it
saying,
is.
yeah, Day saying, if
But
you leave.
although they're saying this and then suddenly, like right after that, they're making fun of us. Like in the movie, I'd have to look for you and blah blah blah. And I hate them for that, Zoe.
No,
I hate them
but
for that.
this is what I'm saying though. Like when he says, "If you leave me, I won't come after you," and I was just like, "Yeah, you would." I'm like, maybe we'll get the bridge scene. That was my first thought, and then
Yeah.
we had like Mork saying, like, don't you leave me, like, don't you disappear on me. and Dave being like, oh, I totally would. And Mork being like, well, I'll have to come after you. And I'm just like, there is so much possible foreshadowing in this. If this was to continue on from this point in any way, shape, or form the way we originally thought that it might, all of those things could factor in. Dave,
I hate how they're playing with us here,
Day
Zoe.
going
They're
missing,
playing with
Mork
us.
looking for him and being freaked out. Like, all these things are definitely possible. And I was just like, oh my God. Now, here, question for
Even
you.
the music was messing with us. It was happy and blah blah blah, and then suddenly someone asks a serious question, and the music's like da 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 da, suddenly anxious, and then a moment of silence, and someone like Jay responds in a gift blah blah blah, and the music again is like la 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 la, and then something again, and oh, stop it.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Question for you about the scene from the trailer where Mork is crying, and the reason why I'm going to ask you this is because I know you've seen it like 5,000 times, so I'm hoping that you can remember. What the hell is he wearing?
I think it was something yellow, a yellow
Okay.
T-shirt, if I remember correctly.
Because I just assumed it would have been around this point. Yeah, and
yeah,
we're not.
yeah.
We saw nothing like that. So I thought if it was similar to what he was wearing when Day's eyesight is revealed or whatever, or lack thereof, I thought maybe it might be sort of immediately after this, because once again,
but this is his moment. This is his moment. They wouldn't have, inserted more crying.
No. I don't mean in this bit. I meant like in the next part. But I actually got a little bit spoiled because I saw the 2-second clip where they're like, and coming next, like, GMM, stop doing that. So I kind of know what happens next, or at least
like write a petition or something and ask them to stop doing that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so frustrating. Anyway, but yeah, I just and then of course he tries sneaking out but gets caught by Mum and Night. The bit where she's watching them, that's one of the bits I was talking about, because as far as they're aware, they're being, they don't know they're being observed by her. So she's seeing, like, I guess, them in their, I'm going to use like animal planet talk here, but in their natural habitat, like the way they are with each other when no one else is around, so I thought this is a moment where she can observe like what's really, like, how they really are with one another and things like that.
But you know what's hurting me, that the fact that he's saying sorry again when he gets when he starts working with her. Every time they interact, he's apologizing to her.
Well, I think that's just part of him, because he thinks he's done something wrong. He has guilt from other things. Like, he feels like he maybe not. I don't think he feels like he did something wrong in regards to like them being together or like taking advantage or anything like that. But I feel like from the perspective of her and like what she asked from him, maybe he feels like he did something wrong. Do you know what I mean? And he feels unworthy a little bit.
Yes, I feel like it's I'm sorry, I'm not someone better.
Yeah. And I mean, that's really sad, isn't it? That's like super depressing that he doesn't feel good enough.
Yes.
So
she wants someone who can literally take care of Day, and then they had this conversation about Day and how she's basically like testing the way he sees Day and how he feels about this relationship and everything, and asking she wants to see maybe like even their dynamic from his point of view.
Yeah.
What he's doing.
But she says she does not really understand their relationship because like, and this whole thing where she sort of says to him, like, do you think he's normal? Oh my God, I hated all the normal conversation. But anyway, and
yes, but also because she's also curious, because Day opened up to him. Day started to feel better about himself because of Mork, something that she couldn't do. And she wanted to she genuinely wanted to know how he did that, what is his process,
I think
because
as
she
well,
wants to do that today as well.
yeah, I think as well, like I was thinking about it during the week, and I wondered as well if some of her animosity and fear towards Mork isn't factored into this idea that he
Jealousy?
might leave, because like her partner left her, and for all intents and
Yeah,
purposes
yes,
there was
yes.
nothing wrong with her. So
When she
she's
said, I have heard cheesy things like this before. I was like, oh my God, she's thinking about her husband.
told her lies.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is the thing, because I feel like, as I said, I wonder if it's factored in this idea of like he's built Day up so much.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when he's not around? Like from a parent's perspective, I could understand that. Like there are things where like in a lot of stories, and not even just in stories, like I know people where like one part of the relationship has gotten really sick or something, and the other person can't deal and they leave, and it's like, well, then that they weren't worth your trouble, but like that's not going to help the person who's being left, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not a thing. So I can see maybe some of her animosity and some of her fear and irrational behavior is potentially tied into not just not thinking he's not maybe good enough to take care of him or whatever, but like that he might leave, and he's so intrinsically linked to Day's like confidence and positivity and happiness at this point, that what happens if things go wrong and Mork leaves. Like, so I kind of got that, but I love him here. Mork, best boy. I will fight you all over that. I
The
love the
line,
line that he says
he's
here, as I said.
normal. He
Yeah, that
just can't see.
he just
He's
can't see.
normal.
Yeah, as much as I hate the word normal, because I don't think, like, who decides what's normal? Like, first off, like, who decides that? Who has the right to decide what's normal? And I was saying earlier today to Cass, like, if you people who seem like this, like, kind of, I guess, textbook version of what we as society have deemed normal usually aren't, because we're only seeing like the surface of what people want us, what anybody, any given person wants you to see. Like, you can say, like, I can say you and I, we really know each other really, really well, but at the same time there's potentially things about me that you don't know. There's potentially things about you I don't know, because we only show people like the stuff we want them to see, and that also includes like when you let someone in and you let them see your inner stuff, your down and dirty, your like depression, your whatever. You still are the one who is revealing that. You're still the one who's letting them in. You're choosing to let them in, and how far do you choose to let them in? So like this whole idea of people who seem to have it all together, who seem to be, as I said, this textbook version of normal, usually aren't. In my experience, they're usually heavily medicated. but so I don't really like this whole like conversation with the word normal in it. However, if he's going to use it, and you're going to use it in a broad spectrum in terms of things like disability and stuff versus like, and I'm using air quotations here, normal, I love what he says here, because it's true.
Yeah.
He's just like everybody else. He just can't see. It's not,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not, it does hasn't changed who he is as a person. He's still Day. He doesn't like, he's not broken, and so I really, really did love that. And then she says about how she's like, there's all these people who
They
have
play around. They play around a bit with this concept of normality, because he says Day never saw himself as normal, but he's still the same Day. So they kind of go through what normal means, and in what context.
mm,
And like for Day, normal is about the disability, and then he's saying he's normal because he's a person. And like, what is unnormal?
yeah,
What is unnormal?
yeah,
It's just the same as what is normal, what is not normal. It's just It's
Yeah.
relative.
And he
So
says that, you know, like he said, he's still the same person. He still wants to do everything for himself. So like
it's your
this,
decision. Basically, it's each person's decision to decide how to view a certain thing as something normal or as something not normal. And is normal usually normal, if you think about what is normal, it's about if it's something that you can accept, you can just live with, it's normal. And it's something if it's something not normal, it's something that you want to change,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
This is what when we use these expressions
Well, I mean,
usually.
not necessarily. I mean, I don't know whether or not it's something that you want to change. I mean, it's something that most people would not necessarily think was
Accept.
the status quo. I mean, whether or
Yeah.
not you accept it, you know, you might, because I mean, it's one of those things. It's a word that I guess maybe has been misused in terms of like how it's applied to us as a person, because generally, like the word normal, like if you were, you know, like so for example, I had something this week happen to me at work that was not normal, and by that I mean it's not something that normally happens. So
Yeah.
it's not that it's, you know, I mean it was something bad that happened, but it wasn't that it was just it's not the normal way of things, right? So
Unusual.
yeah, it
Unusual.
was an unusual occurrence, right? Now in
Mm.
this
Yeah.
instance it was a bad thing, but sometimes like you'll be having, you know, a week where a bunch of stuff that doesn't normally happens, and it's good things. It's like it's not always bad. So the this idea that normal mean like not being normal or whatever is a bad thing is something that we have people have tacked onto it. It's not, you know, um and like, you know, society has twisted the meaning, I think, of what should be behind it. But um yeah, the way he says, you know, like Day wants to do everything for himself. And I think that was really important as well, because a huge part of what she was doing in last week's episode was taking away Day's agency to make decisions for himself, to be able to function on his own. Like she was taking away his independence, like taking his phone away, taking his computer access away. These are all things that are isolating and like taking away his independence. And that's like he's already blind. And now you want to make him completely like unable to access the world. Like that is downright cruel if we're getting into it. But like so this idea of like her and wanting someone who can who's able to take care of Day. Well, I mean Mork has already you know overproved the fact that he can do that in terms of like caring as a carer, as someone who can help him, you know, look after himself physically and mentally. He has already proved himself in those two facets. So the only one that's really left is the financial side of things. And regardless of the financial side of things, even though Day has let Mork help him with things, a lot of the stuff he's learned how to since do by himself, or the stuff that he still lets Mork do for him is not just because he can't see, but it's because he's his boyfriend and it's cute and he wants his help. Like it's not always about not being able to see. Sometimes it's just about wanting to be close to that person. So he's already like proven himself in that way in terms of being able to look after him. So it's interesting then that she poses this question where like she basically does say to him there's like a bunch of normal people, because she says people with sight. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
she says it that way because he's just said to her like the only difference between Day and like, you know, you is that he can see, you know, he can't see
Mm-hmm.
rather. But I love how he says like the little side smile he gets on his face because he thinks about it. I like the way that Mork stops and thinks before he answers, because people say things all the time. I mean, I know I'm totally guilty of it. My mouth starts going before my brain is even caught up sometimes. And so it's why I don't like public speaking, because I'm almost 99% sure I'm going to end up saying something dumb. But like he
This
stops.
is why we started a podcast. Isn't this fun?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like it's different when it's kind of one-on-one. You know, I'm not really thinking about the fact that, you know, we have a few listeners, because then I'll start like overthinking it. But in general, you know, like, but if there's like 30 beady little eyes looking at me, then I start freaking out. But
Mm-hmm.
in this sort of instance where like she's sort of asking him this question, which is very weighted. Like, it's a very, like, she's clearly something that she is, because she says, I don't understand it. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand your relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd also kind of, if she's looking at her son as somebody who's disabled and less than something, which she probably is, and it's a horrible thing to say, and it's not intentional, but she knows Day as he was before, and so now he's different, he's lacking in some
Mm-hmm.
way. It's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily that it's a bad thing, but she can't look past the fact that he doesn't have the same things he had before. So she has to look at it in a way that is, she's trying to protect him. Like, in this instance, I understand where she's coming from. And I did before, but I feel like I actually understood her a little bit more in this. And I don't know why. I think it just took me a while to come around to her. I'm still pissed off about last week, and
It's complex.
yeah. But so
It's
yeah, so
complex.
anyway, she's clearly asking him something really important. There's a lot of weight to this question. Um and I love how when it's important, he stops and he thinks about things before he speaks, because as I said, so many people just say something, and like, yes, okay, I'm not saying if you answer something honestly straight away and without thought, that you're being ingenuine and that you don't actually mean these things or whatever, but I do like that he
He
considers
knows how
himself.
important this moment is. He
Yeah,
knows it's a
he
test that he
that's
must
right.
pass. Because
And so
this is very important. This is when she makes up her mind about him, and this moment is clear. This is
actually,
it.
I
This
don't
the
know that
sad
it
the way they
is. I
felt.
feel like
The shots where they
I
yeah
feel like this is the start. I don't know that she necessarily has fully made her mind up here. I feel like um she's opened her heart to him here, is what I feel like.
yes.
He
I like the
impresses her.
moment. I like the way they filmed this.
Mm.
Reminded me of episode 1 when he was walking away from their house and the camera was on his face. So they were walking. I mean, it's nothing special, but I like it when it's not a static thing, because a lot of times in Thai media they use static shots. Not so much lately, but it's not fun to watch when the characters are just standing there, and nothing is happening, and like it's it's boring. But this
Yeah,
one, something is happening. They were walking. You had this feeling we're moving. I was literally thinking, wow, we're moving.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You do. You get that there is literally movement happening in their relationship as
Progress.
well as in the
Yes.
scene. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
clever. It's clever because even if you're not aware of, even if you're not physically like aware and thinking about it like you are, for example, you do still as a viewer take it in. So yeah, so I
Yes.
love his answer here. As I said, the little side smile that Mort gets is, it's like he's it was such an in love enamored sort of little, like, well, of course this is the only answer I can give you, and it's like, because it's such a strange question anyway. Like, I mean, if you asked anybody like why they loved somebody, or like why you had chosen that person to, like, you would need to, most people would need to really think a long time about the reasons, and you would probably list off about half a dozen like really kind of very superficial things, well, not superficial but like obvious things, before you actually maybe got to the real down and dirty of like the reason why this person makes you feel safe, or the reason why, like, whatever. And the fact that he couldn't pull this out, it's such a meaningful thing to both him and for Day as well, because I feel like the response that Mort gives her is probably also the response that Day would probably give as well.
Well, what he says is he can see something in me that even I cannot see, which basically I'm translating to he believes in me,
Yeah,
and
he
they do.
does.
They believe in
They,
each other.
yeah, I think the
This
thing
is
is,
this is why they're able to do the things that they do to grow, to become better, because they believe in each other. Once once they found each other and believed in each other, they started to make progress. Jay has been alone in his room for a year because no one believed in him.
yeah, I think it's believed in him, but I think also just like saw him, like saw what he needed, saw that he was struggling in a way, like, and also not only that, but like Day doesn't look at sorry, Mork does not look at Day and see a blind, disabled, not normal person. That's not what he sees when he looks at him. He sees like a sassy, bratty little, cutie patootie who like challenges him, but who's really smart and has all this potential, and like he just like loves him and wants to make his life better, wants to be close to him. Like there's just this, and a huge part of that is the fact that, and maybe it's because Day can't see, he is not distracted by the society things that put most people off of Mork, like his history with like being incarcerated, and like where he comes from, and like maybe his clothes aren't the right kind of clothes, or the whatever. Like he's not seeing any, so he sees past all of the other crap that turns other people away from Mork, and he is just seeing who he is intrinsically inside. Like he's learning who he is actually at his core, and they're both doing that for each other, so no one else can really see them
Believes
the way
him.
they see each other.
Yes, and she believes him. So for now, at least, he's accepted. I was so I was like, yes, yes, I like this. I was so impressed
Yeah,
by this moment that I almost forgot. Like we switched to the next scene, and I almost forgot what was about to happen because I
yeah,
was
I
pretty
was the
sure.
same. I was like,
He,
oh,
I was
oh,
sure. I was sure he was not going to get his eyesight back. Even though I did feel this, they managed to make me feel hopeful, and because I was wondering, I was really questioning how they'd make me feel anything right now, even though I know how this is going to go, and even though, well, I knew for myself because I was hoping that was
yeah. It's so funny that you said that made you feel hopeful, because I kind of had the opposite reaction. Like I was like, I was really enjoying the scene before, as you said. I was like, oh, olive branches are being extended and things are happening and it's so good. And then we
no, what I'm
switched.
saying is that I was empathic with the characters. I thought I'd just close off completely because I couldn't cry.
Yeah, yeah,
I was just watching in horror because but they managed. I was doubting that they managed to make me feel anything in that moment, for the characters, because I was so ready for that moment when he finds out that he cannot see. I was bracing myself.
yeah, yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm.
Oh, okay, 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 yeah, yeah. Because I was like, we went from the, this, as I said, this olive branch being extended scene to
I was
and,
the
and in this
opposite
and in this scene
day.
and in this
Not,
scene
they were like, ha ha ha, everything will be fine. I'm like, no.
yeah, and in this scene, just before we go to the eye reveal scene, I'm gonna now I'm doing like weird terminology to do with the eyes, but anyway, before we go to the eye reveal scene, the he's so happy. Mork is so happy in this moment, where she sort of kind of, I guess, almost gives her somewhat approval. Um, and then we switch to them and they're being all like tra la 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 la, and I was just like, oh, it's too cheerful. And then I was just like, I literally, the only thing, I have nothing written for like probably most of that scene, and then I'm just like, this is so cruel. This whole thing was so fucking cruel, like to the viewer, but also to them, because they're all devastated. They are all so broken in this scene, and I was just like, I was kind of angry on Day's behalf, because I mean, besides the whole like, being told he was permanently blind, then you dangle this in front of him and now it hasn't worked. He was happy before. He was, you know, confident, and he had accepted everything, and it was just
Mhm.
to go back to this, to give all this false hope, and to like take it all away. It's like, I guess what's going to happen now is we're going to get, because of course, we find out that he had an infection in his eye, which stopped the transplant from working, which is like, yes,
Mhm.
that's a valid thing that could happen. Um,
Mhm.
so it's like, but and so they're like, oh well, that's okay, like we'll get the next one, which like I just wanted to
New eye
scream.
donation.
Yeah, we'll get the next eye donation. I was like, no, I thought we were past this. But like, and he's so, at this point in time, he's so defeatist, and I feel like the most positive thing that he could take away from this scene at the end of this, and the way that they end this show, is that you know, like maybe there's a possibility for them to try this again, but he's not going to. He's going to be like, you know what, I'm not going to go through that again. It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine the way I am. You know, there's nothing wrong with me. I will, you know, prevail. Like,
Yeah.
with this is my life, sort of thing. Because I feel like, I don't know that you would want to try again, like after all of that, because if he had never got to the stage beforehand, like with Mork, where he had accepted it, then you probably would try again, even though it didn't work this time, because you hadn't got that to that point. So you would still be like hoping, you know, even though your hopes and dreams were dashed in this round, you would go and try it again and try it again and try it again. But because he'd actually got to that point where he was pretty like much had accepted it, to then have this happen, like you would be like, I can't go through that again. Like, I can't have my hopes
Yes, we'll
dashed in the
see.
same
I'm
way.
very, yes. I am curious to see what happens next. And then we get the scene on the rooftop, and
I'm so
that was
I'm literally so
heartbreaking.
triggered, because like when they're talking and everything, and he's like, I want to be left alone. I'm like, I'm so triggered about all of our earlier conversations about him getting depressed or something. And I'm like, don't leave him alone on a roof. What are you people doing?
Yeah, me too. I was like, not on the roof alone, please no.
We're just like, no, you can't do this. But yeah, so of course they're all
And
devastated.
then,
Like, the
yes,
mother's
and
devastated.
the line true blindness is inability to see any hope.
Yeah. Well, we
Yes,
had this.
yes.
We
Well,
had
they did kill this hope for him. He
yeah.
doesn't have this hope anymore. He
No.
needs to find a new hope
A
right
New
now.
Hope. Yeah, this is interesting too. This scene, because it's really funny. And I feel like this maybe, if I mean, it's dependent on what happens next, how she treats them next. The mother I'm talking about, but I feel like this scene potentially might have been her full acceptance of Mork's scene, because two really important things happen here, or actually three really important things happen here. One is we get this, the scene starts out and it's her and Day and Night.
Mm.
And Night
Yeah.
is clearly, I mean, they're all devastated, but Night is clearly devastated. He is completely enveloping his younger brother, and he is just like he can't believe it. Do you know what I mean? And so, and Day sort of says to him, you know, it's not about you anymore. You like, it's fine. Like, he's very much trying to be brave and like make them both feel better, you know, with the caveat of like, I need to be alone, but like, you know,
He wanted to relax. He couldn't relax. He was keeping a brave face and did.
yeah, he was.
He,
And then of
yeah.
course, you know, and he's so fragile, he's so ready to break. And so we have Mork come up and he asks the mother, can I speak to him for a moment? And I just assumed that this was in full hearing of Day, but I don't think so, because of the way Day sort of reacts. It makes me think he thinks that one of them is still there, because as soon as he realizes it's Mork, he changes straight away. So he says something like, I wanted to be alone, and he's kind of snippy and snarly and a little bit of his old sassy self in that moment. Like, you see shades of like episode 1 Day, where he's kind of like barely containing his rage and his, you know, sadness and devastation. And so of course he realizes it's Mork, and that changes, and instead he doesn't really allow himself to break down straight away. He puts on the glasses that Mork gave him as a Christmas present to wear while his eyes were healing, which is like the saddest friggin' thing ever. Because he's like, oh, I guess I can still use them. And he's using them to hide his tears, which is really, really sad. And I don't know if you noticed that, like, Mork can see himself reflected on them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, there's so much pain in that. And so, you know, we have this scene where, like, from their perspective of viewing, you know, offside, because she sort of says, you know, I'm going to be nearby, kind of thing, obviously, like, for when he's ready. And what she's witnessing here is not only the fact that Mork clearly loves him and is not planning on going anywhere and is just as destroyed as they are by this and everything, but the fact that Day lets himself go when Mork is there, that he
Yeah.
is showing Mork
Showing
is
his
the person
vulnerability.
that he feels comfortable showing this vulnerability with, knowing that he doesn't have to put on a brave face, knowing that he doesn't have to make things better for Mork, because like that's not what this is about. Like he can lose his shit without worrying about, you know, scaring Mork off or whatever. And then seeing that like Mork comforting him actually does comfort Day. So there's all these really important things that they get to witness here that I feel like if she's accepted him, like if we do see, you know, in the rest of this episode and episode, you know, the following episode, that she has full acceptance of them and everything, I feel like this is the moment. Like she's really truly seeing like the impact that he has on
I
him
hope so.
and how
I hope
important.
so.
Yeah.
If the things happen, naturally, as they like naturally, you think that this would happen next. Like, just as with the scene from from the end of episode 9, naturally Mok would not just go back to his old angry self after going through that, after being the last Twilight. So naturally she would not go back to trying to keep them apart. I hope this is what we see next, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like
They
it's one
tend
of
to surprise us in not in bad ways, so
yeah.
let's see what happens.
I mean, I think it's one of those things. This is the unknown quantity of this show that I feel like in this moment, even like knowing the little bit I've been spoiled for the next part and that, because that's only the next part. I don't know what happens to the rest of the episode, and I don't really know what happens in the next part. I've just saw a slight conversation, so it's like the thing with this is we don't really know. Like as you said, that we thought after the last Twilight bit there we would be like I was like, I'm fine. If it ends here, I'm fine. I don't need all the things that I thought I needed before, because I feel like this solved a lot of issues for me. However, now that this has happened, this is really super stressful. This is, you can see in this scene that Mork is like, this is destroying him. Like he is so, and it's not even like, it's not about Day being blind, because he doesn't care about that. It's and I really do hope that people watching this show get the fact that that's not why he's
It's
upset.
not about that. He's
No.
scared because Day he's freaking out because Day
Yeah.
is empty right now, and he is
Yeah.
devastated, and this is scary as fuck to him.
Yeah,
He
he's so triggered. The whole
Yeah,
you just have to see, he almost like visibly flinches, I think, when
he
or is
doesn't know
he
what to do.
when
He's panicking,
yeah, when Day
trying
when
so hard to hold together and like hold the Day together. He's trying
that's
to
right.
hold Day together, and
Yeah.
I feel like he feels like he's slipping through his fingers like sand or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's so triggered. I feel like, as I said, I'd have to rewatch it again, but I feel like he like almost visibly flinched when Day
Mhm,
said the thing about like being blind is having like no hope, not being able to see hope at
mhm,
all. Because
mhm.
like, oh my god, that must be so triggering for someone whose sister committed suicide.
Yeah,
Like she
yeah,
clearly could see no hope. She
yeah,
saw no other option, no other solution to what was happening in her life but ending it. And this must be like that line. Like as I said, I thought maybe we were past this idea that he might get triggered in some way, but I feel like that line to me, it triggered me like in that situation. So
yeah,
I'm,
yeah,
you know, and he's very, as you said, very clearly he is holding it together so he can hold Day together. And this is we got to understand too, like he has sort of seen a couple of moments where Day's like lost his shit before, but he wasn't in love with him then, you know, like it wasn't this
yeah,
like, and this is very final. This is very for like, even though, you know, Mum's like, oh, we can try again, like for Day this is very final, because they tried it didn't work, he can't do it again. That's my opinion on how he's going to be at the end of this. But like I just feel it's like Mork wanting to lose it and not being able to. I hope he's not bottling it. You know what I
what
mean?
he's trying to do here, at least, is what is he's trying to be there, something that he did not do for his sister
Yeah.
when he was going through that. So this is why he is saying he's promising to never leave him
Yeah.
again.
And also,
This
I
is
mean,
something that he can fix. Like this is the only thing that
he
he could
can
have done
control.
differently.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, he as I said, the fact that Day is blind is not at all like part of
No, I hope, no,
his grief
seriously, I
here.
hope people don't think this is why, because I saw a lot of people think that he cried in episode 9 just because Daya was losing his sight. It wasn't about that.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It was the fact that he was worthy of being the last thing that Day saw. And not even worthy, but
I mean,
that was
he
what
was
Day
sad,
wanted.
obviously, but for Day losing his, but he has been preparing for that. He didn't know, he didn't see him being the last Twilight coming.
No, but not only that though. If you think about it, he's never known a sighted Day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The very bare minimum of sight, this one palm distance that Mork had, that Day had when he and Mork first met, is like from someone who is a fully sighted person, you know, like that would be like being, as far as like you or I, that would be like being blind, because you can't imagine the distinction between that little bit of sight, which would be everything for Day. He is almost pretty much completely blind. Like, it's like, so he's never seen a sighted Day. So like, it's not like he fell in love with Day and then Day lost his sight and then, you know, he had to come to grips with that and whatever. Like, this is, so his sight is not an issue for Morg. It's just that he knows how much he wanted it. He only wants Day to be happy. He only wants Day to be, well, not, it's not that he only wants him to be happy. Like, he's not going to love him if he's not happy, but like, he doesn't want anything bad to happen to him, is what it is.
So should we go watch the second part?
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, I still don't know that I'm necessarily ready, but at this point we've just like talked for almost an hour about the first part, so probably we should move on.
Let's go.
Okay.
Part 2. Oh my god, I hate the fucking previews. I hate the fucking previews.
Did you see it? Did you? I did too.
I just saw that someone got hit and Mark is starting to panic, and I'm just fucking panicking right now. Okay. All right.
I know, right? Because this might be like the shortest part of this of the podcast. We're just going to be like, so this happened. Okay, now we need to go and watch.
Yeah, this seriously, because why do they have to, like, can they at least start the preview with something that is not a major spoiler, so that if you don't want to see it, you can just like stop, you know, have like a few seconds to give you the chance to not be spoiled.
Yeah. I'm like, GMM, just like use this time to like advertise your sponsors better. Okay, so it's months later, which actually surprised me a little bit. One of the things I was trying to say in the last, when we were talking about the first bit, was that I wondered if we might not get to see like Mork breaking down a little bit at the beginning of this part, you know, like some sort of transition to where from that utter devastation to like them being okay, but instead we just jumped months ahead, which is, it's fine. Like, you know, it is actually very common. It's, you know, we've been talking about like these new like kind of time frames, time shifts and stuff in like the newer BLs that we're seeing, and especially the GMM ones, and the time shift thing is quite common in either like the 11th or 12th episode. So I wasn't I was both surprised but also not surprised to see it. So
You were born, and then we get the weird how come I'm an uncle moment from that. He doesn't want to be an uncle, okay?
I know.
He's not
I do kind of like the surround of this though. Like he's so, you know, like he's so committed and he's so down, and I love that for him and I love that for poor Jay. But it's realistic, and that she would, especially given that she's come from this really like abusive relationship, and also the previous relationship was with Mork, which was like also didn't end well, that she would be a little bit more considerate before she just like jumped into something new, especially because she has someone else to consider now as well. It's not just her. There's ramifications, you know, if things don't work out or whatever. It's not just her that's going to get hurt. So I do like that, once again, that they're being realistic and making good choices, and that, you know, you would imagine that she would, you know, think long and hard. I mean, it's one thing to flirt with someone and be interested, but to like, you know, be already sort of like moving in or whatever and all that kind of stuff with someone new straight after the baby's born, and that might be a little bit too much of a, you know, a thing that you would do. So she named the baby Me after Mean. from
course.
Last Twilight, which we kind of knew she was going to do because she sort of said she would. Um,
Did you notice how Mark was watching Day? Like we had several close-ups on his face or moments where the camera like was clearly focused on him and he was watching Day intently. He was observing, he was studying, he was like, what is going on? Like he's ready for any disturbance or something in the system to jump in and fix stuff.
Yeah, well, it's funny because like in
Yeah.
the beginning, I must admit I didn't notice that overly much. I wasn't really sort of. I was kind of a bit like, oh, okay, everybody's fine. Like that's the message that you're getting sort of straight off the bat. And so I kind
Mhm.
of, I guess I like unclenched my sphincter, but like I calmed down a little bit because I was just like, oh, okay, we're here already, sort of thing.
Yeah, but he gets
It was.
scared when they says he wants to see Mia's face because
Yeah, he did. He's like
like
triggered once again. He's
yeah.
like, is he going to be okay? But I mean, he says it with a smile on his face. I mean, the thing that got me though is when he said, yeah, I was just thinking about this idea of like, playing, being at the house and playing hide and seek with her. Well, like, dude, you can still do that. Like he could, especially in his house, like like you know where all the hiding spots are. Like it's your house. Like just because you can't see it, you've mapped that shit. Like you can definitely play hide and seek with
But
her. Uh,
he didn't say he wouldn't be able to play.
no,
He just
but
said he
yeah,
wanted to see her face.
yeah, and the whole like, was I there? It's like, of course, like it was so cute. But anyway, um,
So
the
then we get
hang on
the yeah.
before we do that. So with Mork, not Mork, with Knight and Porget as well. The fact that she says this is her nickname named after me, blah 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 blah, and then he goes, she's like, ask him what her real name is. So he named her. He
Mm-hmm.
named her daughter. So they're already like pretty committed.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that they're, taking it slow, because we get the next scene, and one of the things that Mork says in it is that she's moving in with her. She's moving out of his house and moving in
Mm-hmm.
with her mother. So they are still taking it slow, which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we get this scene of them
But
with the
Mark
fish tank.
is having the moving in talk with Day.
Yeah.
And Jay is kind of jumpy
Well, do you know
about
what's
it.
really
He's
funny is which
avoiding.
one, I can't remember which one of them was asking about when the fish were going to have a baby. Was that Day?
Yeah, I think it was Day.
I was like laughing so hard. I was like, this is very Pit Babe of them, because they're like, we're assuming, I mean, I don't know, who knows what sex the fish are, but I don't know about fish. A fish, one of those things that like they change sexes, and I think that's just frogs. But like the way he's like, when are you guys gonna have a baby? And it's like, that they're meant to be two guys.
Not, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't know.
No,
Anyway,
I'm saying they
so
don't know the fish, but they're named after them. So like, I was, yeah.
mm,
Anyway, I thought it was funny.
can two guys have a baby, Zoe? Aren't we talking about ABL here?
Not in an isolated fish tank. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can. That'll be the next one. I mean, there is a mermaid one coming up, so like, who knows? It's possible. They're doing Mpreg now, so who knows? But yes,
I was just thinking when he starts being a bit jumpy and avoiding giving an answer, like, is he scared to bring it up? I mean, to have this talk, or does he have thoughts like he doesn't want to be a burden or something?
maybe, or maybe it's just exactly what he says, which is, he says like, my mom only just gave you the green light, like don't push it, kind of thing. So
Mm.
I mean, it could be a combination of those two things as well, because where he is now, it's like, he know, like I said, it's that's his home advantage. Like, he knows where
Mm.
everything is. He knows, it's comfortable. It's not just him and like Mork. He's also got his brother and his mom, and like probably some servants in there somewhere. I know we haven't seen them, but I would imagine there's some. um and so it's like, it's comfortable there. Whereas if they move in together on their own, then it's just them. It's like, I especially since Portia is moving out and everything, so it would just be them, which is, you know, like in any relationship is a big step. But I think mainly it's probably to do with like not sure like how the mother is going to react, and at the moment things are working. Because it's funny that he says to him, well, I could move in here, and it's like he's like, well, then I would leave. So it's like it's not him, I don't think, wanting to necessarily live with him, but he doesn't want to, like, he doesn't want Mork to have to like live with him there, if that makes any sense. So it's an interesting question, because we then find out that, you know, Mork is getting so good that he's even being, you know, offered extra work sort of abroad, and well, not I say abroad, like, you know, like away
The
from where
fancy
they live.
hotel.
Yeah, the fancy
Yeah.
hotel. And so
The scene at the table was very cute.
yeah, and so
Yeah,
Day wants to go
bonding.
with him, and that he wants to have private time alone with him and get away and stuff. So like he definitely wants it. It's probably just like maybe he wants the same thing, because Day like when this scene is, as you said, really really cute. We have this like we have like about 3 levels of acceptance from the mother in this scene, because we have her, you know, serving Day and serving Night, and then she doesn't serve Mork, but she offers this special thing that she's made to him. And
Mm-hmm.
then so that's your first psychic acceptance. And then of course um Day Mork is like, wow, this is really good, and then Day's like giving away all his secrets. And there was that like super kind of like awkward moment where she seemed like she was pissed, because she's like, are you telling him all my recipes? And they're all just really quiet, because obviously the answer to that is yes. And she's so serious, like she's so serious. And then she's just like, all right, well, now that you know them, don't embarrass me, which is a huge acceptance from her. So that's like
Mhm.
acceptance number 2. And then he starts talking about, you know, this job that he's been offered and how he's going to go and do this thing. And then Day wants to go with him. And
Mhm.
Walk's like, I'm, you know, it's not going to be a vacation. I'm going to be working the whole time. And Day's like, I don't care. And then we get this acceptance from her again, this 3rd level of acceptance, where she says, yes, that's okay. That's all right. You know, please take care of him for me. Um, and so this scene that we get outside with Night and Mork, and he's just like, I love how like Mork is afraid. He's just like, she agreed way too easy. Should I be worried? And Night's like, well, yes and no. She's totally testing you. Um,
No pressure.
yeah, the way he's like, she knows that, you know, you guys want to, and she says that you both want to, you know, move in together and live together. So there must be something from Day's side as well, and not just from Mork wanting to do this. And so
I like how his day Night says she mentioned being a caretaker and a boyfriend are two different things, and he's like, I didn't understand this. Mock will understand it, and especially now in the next part of the episode, he will understand this.
yeah, this thing that we both sort of got spoiled for, yes, it will make him understand. But like, because I felt like he kind of was already thinking about it. Like, as I said, I like, this is an aspect of Mork's character that I really like. You know, Day puts the no, so Day Night puts this thing out, and Mork straight away is thinking about, like, you can see he has like a sort of deep in thought kind of like,
Mhm.
you know, expression on his face, where he's like already thinking about what does she mean by that. And I mean,
Yeah.
obviously a boyfriend has the luxury of being able to be distracted. A boyfriend has the, you know, the option to just like come and go as he pleases, or like, you know, whatever. There are all these different distinctions, whereas like being a boyfriend and his carer, he needs to, you know, be aware of and considerate of everything to do with
And
Day.
also when you're a caretaker, you can be there with him all the time and watch him and take care of him. But when you're a boyfriend,
You
you
can't, you
cannot
have
be
other
together all the
yeah,
time.
that's right, you have other
Yes. And if
obligations and stuff.
something happens, like something will happen, he will freak out. He'll want to check
Yeah,
if it's Day, if he's okay, and he will not be at working
yeah,
if it's not, and if it's not him and he just freaked out, well, yeah, here it is, being a caretaker and a boyfriend, that's two different things.
yeah. Well, that's right. And the other thing is as well is it's like being a kid, being a caretaker, as someone who's done that job, like, you, of course you're worried, you're always concerned, like, am I doing this right? Have I made,
Mhm.
did I make a mistake? Are they okay? Like, if something happens, or like whatever, or is this a safe
Mhm.
space for them? Like, you think of
Mhm.
it though in the role of, like, I guess, a humanitarian way, in that, well, first off, it's your job to make sure that they're safe, but
Mhm.
also, like, you want to do the best for them. But you're not
Mhm.
necessarily, unless you're a long time carer for somebody, you're not necessarily emotionally invested. You're more just like, this is my job, I'm making sure it's whatever. He is so emotionally invested, as the boyfriend. It's on a whole other level of, like,
Yeah.
concern. And this is not a normal situation anyway. Like, it's interesting that she's using this to test them, to see if they can, like, cohabit and live together on their own without any trauma occurring, because, like, they're not in a familiar surrounding. Like, they're on, essentially, in a vacations place where, like, while they're sort of familiar with it, they're not really. Like, I mean, Day says, he's talking about, like, there's like a voiceover sort of thing. He's talking about how, Mork is working from, like, morning till evening every day, and his life has become, like, I think actually he's writing a letter or something to it, or sending a voice message or something to the mother, because the beginning of the scene starts when they arrive, and he says, we have a free day today, so it's ours. And then it starts going on to sort of describing,
Mhm.
like, what Mork's commitments are and things like that, and how he's
Mhm.
basically, like, stuck in the room, but he's, like, getting his meals delivered to him. So his take on that is basically, it's exactly the same as if I was at home. I'd just hanging out in my room
Yeah.
all day getting food brought to me. So you don't need to
Yeah.
worry, is what he says to her.
Mhm.
Um, but I actually wondered, when he was saying that, and, like, he was sitting there waiting for the food to be brought to him and everything, that I wonder if he really is just, like, sitting there and waiting for, like, Mork, like, while Mork's not there. Because I feel like Day is probably in a position, depending on how, like, what's happened in these months between, like, when he, found out he had no sight, to when he got to this place where he seems really happy again. Like, what happened there? Because he, like, Mork was encouraging him to be comfort, to try things, to explore, like, the world again, and all this sort of stuff. And he had obviously had Day, sorry, Day obviously had Mork helping him do those things. And now Mork he has a job.
Yeah.
It's not the caring job, but I kind of, like, wonder, and because he's not, Day is not, like, kind of, I guess, like, locked in to,
Mhm.
like, what his mother's idea of safety is at the moment, whether or not he hasn't been sneaking out and exploring things on his own, to, like, see
Mhm.
how he manages, and, like, how, can he go
Mhm.
here, can he go there, like, all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because he does know, as far as we know, like, as far as I'm assuming, that, like, Paon and his wife are living there now, so
Mhm.
potentially he has people he can call to, like, go and hang out
Mhm.
with, or, like, whatever. The owner of the hotel knows that he has vision issues. Like, I'm sure
Mhm.
that he could ask people, things. Like, he
Mhm.
seems more confident about the fact that he's blind, and not so ashamed by it anymore, like he was originally, where he didn't want people to know. So
Mhm.
it would be interesting to see whether or not he has actually been exploring his world, because that is one of those things that will actually help them, if he can, like, obviously that won't always be the case. Like, he's not going to be able to go out on a busy street by himself, or, like, whatever, necessarily, and without some sort of aid, whether it's a carer, or a stick, or, like, a seeing eye dog, or there'll be some sort of something that he would probably need as assistance for. There would be boundaries to what you could do. um but, like, this, having the confidence and not being afraid to actually, like, go out and explore a little bit, like, I'm curious to see what's actually been happening. um but we had this, like, cute little scene between them, where Mort comes back, and obviously they're staying in sort of, like, a little bit like a dormitory, like, where the staff are staying. So they're sharing with other staff, because um Mort gives him a kiss, and he's like, "Oh, you stink." It always cracks me up. They're always telling each other they stink. I guess, I mean, probably they do, maybe. I don't know. In Thailand, it's really hot, so maybe they're all sweaty smelling at the end of the day. Who knows? Maybe there's a lot of BO in Thailand. I don't know. I mean, I know sometimes, like, at the end of the day in Australia, there's probably a lot of BO because it gets hot here too. But like, it's just so funny to me. But then, of course, being in the kitchen, you would smell like whatever you were cooking that day. So, but it's funny because he's like, go and have a shower and then come back and kiss me, and Mork's like, yeah, but they'll be back here soon, and then we won't be allowed to be alone, sort of thing. But yeah, this whole stuff was just really, it's just cute boyfriend stuff. It just really is just cute boyfriend, like, intimacy, and teasing each other, and like Mork just wants his cuddles and his kisses.
Yeah. Should we go get traumatized again?
Oh,
Really
yeah.
do it. Really do it. I mean, yeah. This is even a
I mean,
question.
obviously we're going to, I mean, the intention is to make us afraid, as Mork is afraid. Like, I get it, because he's had instances where, Day has wandered off, or like whatever, or gotten confused and scared and been alone, and he was there for those too. So, like, this would probably trigger him too. They have had that scene, with the
Yeah.
pink t-shirt and all that. So this would be like a revisiting of that potentially for him. And it's worst case scenario, isn't it? This person is hurt. Someone gets struck by a car or something, and the person he's talking about it says, "Oh, it looked really serious," or whatever. So it's like worst case scenario on all levels. Like, yeah. All right, let's go and watch it. Part 3. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Hello.
Hi. The beginning of this messed me up a little bit.
I'm actually really scared for how this episode is going to end.
Yeah, we only have one scene from the trailer left that we did not see in the series.
Yeah,
Crying.
I reckon we're going to see it in the next bit, and I'm afraid.
Oh.
I'm afraid what it means. Because, okay, let's talk about this part. So part 3 of 4.
Yeah.
So first off, Mork is having a nightmare about not answering the phone when his sister called him.
Yeah,
so
you asked how Day changed after that thing. I think this is what happened to Mork after the operation. I think this got worse for him.
Yeah, Mork is definitely struggling, for real. You can see it. And
he's hiding it from Day.
Sorry?
And he's hiding it from Day.
Yeah, and it's easy for him to do so because Day can't see him the way he does. And so I'm kind of glad.
This is the first time it actually feels like he's lying today, because usually he's so honest, but this now he's doing himself a disservice. He's doing Day a disservice. This is a bad choice he's making right now to hide this from Day.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things, because it's like anything, isn't it? It's that old, like, I guess, conversation about, is an omission a live fact? Because he isn't actually lying to him about anything. He's just not sharing stuff with him, which is, in some cases worse.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm kind of glad that they're addressing this, even though, like, I was sort of somewhat satisfied with the way things had gone previously, because only just because for me I felt like they put this stuff in the storyline, like, early on,
Yeah,
and then they never readdressed it. So I'm glad that they're sort of attempting to do that now. How it will pan out for the rest of the series, I don't know, but I'm glad that they're at least addressing it again, that they didn't just forget about it. And it makes sense. It makes sense. We've got Day who,
and it's not like anger, because the anger really did like dissolve.
Yeah,
the anger. He does not have anger issues anymore.
No,
it's all about.
He's afraid.
He's afraid. Yes.
Yeah. And so.
And a major thing happened in his life again that reminded him of the sister Day saying there's no hope, you cannot see hope, or whatever he said in the previous episode. And yeah, he didn't know, but he fucked Mork up.
Yeah.
He fucked him up.
Yeah, but as
that thing that you said there,
you can't really blame Day for that, because he's not aware of it. He didn't see it. He's
yeah, of
been
course.
told about it. Yeah. So it's funny because this is, as I said, this is Mork's reaction to what's happened. And yet
Yeah.
Day has once again fully accepted everything. He's embracing his life. He's excited about
Yeah.
life again. He's happy, And so
Looking
we
forward.
this yeah, that's right, he's looking forward. So this part of the scene is like basically him waking him up by shaking water on his face. And he can't see that Mork is struggling in this moment. Like, he doesn't know he just
Yeah.
woke him up from a nightmare. But he does sense something because Mork
Mhm.
is not his usual, teasing self straight off the bat sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so he misinterprets it to being angry. And of course, then there's this cute little bit. I do like this scene because, of course, it shows that Day is in tune with him and that he is able to, distinguish that there's something going on, even though he
Yeah.
can't actually see him. But I also like that he is able to bring Mork out of that bad place because, like often when you when you suffer from stuff like that, it's really hard to, even though you're awake, like move away from it. And he, Day is able to like help him shake off the dream. So I really liked that kind of scene. It was very sort of cute and playful and everything.
Isn't it funny how this years we're saying something like, oh, look, this will happen in the future. And then we're like, oh, maybe not. And then it happens. And we're like, oh, okay, it's happening.
I know, right? I'm just like, and it's funny because like now that they're doing it, I'm kind of like, as I said, I'm glad that they're addressing it, but I'm also a little bit like, how dare they? How dare they do this to us? Like, just because we predicted it, just because we wanted it to happen, I believe we actually were like, this needs to happen for me to be
Yeah,
satisfied.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
I'm like, please
Yes.
stop hurting me.
Exactly.
Please
Yes.
put down the knives and back away. Like, why do you keep trying to stab me in the chest? I'm not enjoying it. I mean, I am, but I'm not. So, and of course,
This is so accurate.
yeah.
Stop it.
It's like,
Don't stab me in the chest.
I'm sorry I made fun of the eye donation.
Oh my god.
I take it all back. Please stop making me cry and like causing me pain.
So of course they won't answer the phone, you know.
But yeah, after Mork hears about a car being hit by a car being hit by a guest,
Yes.
a guest being hit by a car. Yeah, Day not answering his phone is a trigger. And so he has to go and check. And of course it isn't Day,
Yeah.
And so he just, he does manage to talk to Day. Everything's fine. He doesn't tell Day once again in this moment.
Yes.
Yeah, about his fear or about what happened or like whatever. So once again, as you guess, you were saying like he's not sharing, he's not being honest. And
yes,
then,
he will. He will explode at some point. Yeah, that's just.
I feel like he's gonna fall apart. I don't think he's gonna explode.
Well, yeah.
I feel like he's gonna fall apart.
Bad English. This is what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is not sustainable. What he's going through, especially by himself, by having the person that he trusts most and loves, not seeing that actually must fuck you up.
Yeah, I feel like I'm afraid that what's gonna happen is, I don't know. I feel like something's gonna happen, and oh no, I'll get to it in a minute. Let's talk a little bit more about what's happening. So he goes back to the kitchen, and the guy who
possibility that he will be invited to work in Hawaii as a chef if he does a good job here, because there's a competition. Like the boss is looking for.
Yeah, the fact that he was invited there specifically. So I
as
guess
a test.
This guy, it's a test. It's a test. So he obviously thought enough about him, has heard enough about him, whatever, to consider him for this job, which is a big deal. It's a big deal. And it would be a big deal to ask your boyfriend to move to another country with you, like if everything was, the status quo was like okay. But asking Day to move, it's not just about him having to leave his family or everything like that. You're talking about taking him to a completely unfamiliar environment where you would have no support system at all.
Yeah.
So it's a big ask anyway.
Yes.
And it's like, so he finishes his shift for the day and he goes back to the room where they're staying, and like I suspected, Day's
Jay's
not
not
there.
there.
Day's gone exploring, which is,
And
good
he
for Day.
didn't even take his phone with
He
him.
didn't
Jay, what
take
are
his
you doing,
phone.
Jay? Come
Yeah,
on,
he
Jay.
didn't take his
I mean,
phone. So
if Mock told him about what's going on with him, Jay would have had the phone with him for
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, in case he needed him or was, wanting to contact him or something. And this is the thing, like, so we see this scene of like Mork basically panicking kind of, and he's, looking for Day. He's asking people, he's looking everywhere for him, and he's like, I feel like he's like afraid, but also when you're afraid and you get to that point where, like, I half expected him to maybe possibly lash out a little bit when he did find Day because he was scared, because that's
Mhm.
sometimes how you react, and
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
someone
yeah.
who clearly has anger, who's had anger issues in the past.
Like
I
Kang in episodes 11, or was it 10? Episode 10,
Yeah,
right?
like
Or was it 11? Was it 10 or
I
11?
don't know,
It was
but
10.
it
It was
makes
10. It was 10.
sense, yeah, because
Yeah,
you're so afraid, you know what I mean, like,
yeah.
and if that is your, like, usual thing, even if you've grown out of it or you've gone back to it, we all revert to things when we're at our most base level. So
Yeah.
but then of course he sees Day, and Day is in the sunlight and he's like shiny and playing with these kids, and he's so happy, and he's 100% completely fine. And so
Mm-hmm.
instead of being angry or like whatever, Mork watches him playing with the kids, and he's
Mock
like,
is so afraid right now that everything is so well. He's so good. He's so afraid that he'll fuck it up.
yeah,
He's so afraid that he'll lose everything. Like everything, it's too good to be true. He's
yeah.
looking for something to go bad. Like the
Well, I
mom
think,
is playing tricks. They got hit by a car. He fucks it up by the dream, like in the dream. Like
yeah.
he's
I mean,
so afraid.
the other thing is as well with him is he's put himself in this position where, like, his whole personality is, or like his whole goal system is to be a suitable carer for Day. But Day doesn't want a carer. Day just wants
Yeah.
his boyfriend, right? So but Mork has this in his mind, like, what makes him a suitable carer is obviously having a good job and being there and all the rest of it. But so he's so fixated on like Day's well-being and what Day needs, he's not really thinking about himself at all. So suddenly
Yeah.
there's this idea of something that, you know like, he's good at, he
Mm-hmm.
may be being handpicked for, because like he's impressed people so much. It's
Mm-hmm.
exciting, it's like an adventure, but like, how can you be excited about something like that when A, it could potentially take you away from the person you love, or
Mm-hmm.
B, like, it doesn't really fit in with like what he thinks he needs to be. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like he's put himself in this place where he can't have his own dreams, like he can't have things for himself, because everything up until now that he's wanted is all about Day.
Yeah.
And so he's in this position where he's like, it's almost like he's backed himself into a corner where he doesn't get to make those choices because, maybe they're not suitable for Day, right? And so, and it's not like it's um like a thing that has to happen or whatever, or even a conscious decision. It's just that is the way that he's wired himself. Like, he's so,
Yeah.
from very early on, been all about just like, even with the August stuff, he was like bleeding, like his heart was bleeding, like standing there holding it, like beating, ripped out of his chest. And as long as Day was happy, he was fine. So he's like, this idea of like caring for himself and being concerned for himself has become really foreign at this point. And yeah, it's super romantic, and it's like, I've gushed about it all the time since we've been watching this, but it's long term not sustainable and not very healthy.
Yes,
um
just like, a hope. The hope cannot be a person. It has to be something something else. It has to be hope for happiness. It has to be hope for future. It cannot be a thing that you can lose.
Yeah. And I think it was one of those things where if it once again, it goes back
Well,
to
it can be, but it's not a good idea.
no, but I feel like it goes back to this failed eye transplant, this failed cornea transplant surgery. If that had never happened, Knight probably would Mork probably would have been okay. This probably would not maybe necessarily have been an issue.
It
Because
wouldn't have escalated like this for him.
yeah, but because like but it's in terms of like this these ideas of being able to have something for himself. I mean, because in the past he wasn't really concerned about that. Yes, he wanted to do a good job and get a better job and all the rest of it, but that was once again all about Day, about proving himself to Day's mom so that they could be together. But like suddenly there was this idea that Day might have his vision back, and that's a freeing thing to a certain extent, because it would mean that he wouldn't need to be quite so devoted, and he could, suddenly there's this thing that he's good at, that he's proud of, that he could devote a little bit more time to. And so having that and then having that taken away as well, like it's a little bit, it's like it's a loss to a certain extent as well. So now this thing has come up, and it's like someone is saying to him, oh, you could have this, and he's like, well, I can't really. So he's not even really considering it. Like, I mean, clearly it's in his mind, but it's not until we get the canal scene and they're sitting by the canal, and Mork is sort of saying to him like, how did you get here, blah blah blah, and he said, and Day says to him, I had help, and he pulls out a cane, and they have this like quite cute conversation about why he'd never used it until now. And the whole thing is Day is like, if I want to be with you, I need to be able to look after myself. So he's essentially saying to Mork in this scene, you don't need to be everything for me, because I need to do that for myself. So then Mork feels comfortable telling him about the job. But realistically, even though he says to him, like more, Day says to him that it's fine, he should go. If he gets offered it, he should go, because it's his golden opportunity, and he would be happy for him, and it's fine. He can have a boyfriend that works overseas or whatever. And then he says today, about what about coming with me? Now, it's a nice idea.
Did you see he started tearing up when Day says, well, I can have a boyfriend who works abroad?
Yeah, I think there's two things in there. There would be a moment or a part of Mork that would want Day to say no, don't go. So there's that. Like he doesn't, he wants to be important enough that Day doesn't want him to go, I feel like, but also like he kind of needs to be able to go. So it's so twisted up inside of him. So he's like, Day's all like, oh yeah, it's okay, like you can go and we can be like, dating long distance, or there's this idea thrown out that maybe he could go with him and that. But like you can see that Mork knows that that's not really possible, like right now. Like, would his mom ever agree to it? Probably not. Would like it would, I'm assuming, and I don't know like the healthcare system in the States that well, so I don't know like what's available, how you would even access it. Like they would need to know, they would need to work out like how do they access, like, I guess, disability services over there. What would he be entitled to? What something, they would need to get to know the area. Like there's so much that would have to go into it. Like, and like they would almost need to, if they were going to move over there together, they would almost need to move over there like months in advance before Mork was even going to start work, so that they could get situated, they could get like support services set up, like maybe like Night comes with them for a while, like you would need to get everything so that like Day could become familiar with his surroundings, so that they could live essentially on their own. He could be independent and all the rest of it, but you would still need to, it's not something you could just do. You can't just pack up and leave and hope for the best. Like it's not a realistic situation. And so I feel like my concern for this is, as you said, he's like almost crying, like holding his hand so tightly, because this is like the third, this episode's like the third time I think we had Mork say about how he would never let go of his hand.
Yeah.
And so like part of this, like this tear is this moment here where he's all teared up, I reckon, is because like it's a dream that he kind of wants but can't, he feels like he can't take. And also there's this side of it as well where Day's like, oh, you can have it, you should have it, and it's like almost a little bit like a rejection. So
Mm-hmm.
and the other thing is as well is I feel like another moment that really hit home for and it was a little bit triggering for Mork in this scene is this bringing it back to that the line that the mum said to Night about is big difference between being a boyfriend and being a carer, is that when Day says to him, you're like the only person who doesn't pity me or whatever, and that, and while that I don't think that has changed, he's definitely seeing Day and their situation in a different way from this trip. Like the moments where he's been scared and things like that, it's made him realize that it's not like maybe they're not ready for them to move in together
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yet and things
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
And so the reality of the situation is
It's
really,
hitting him.
yeah, is really hitting him. And like whereas like Day was, you said like Day was kind of a bit like shifty and a bit like avoiding the topic when Mork was bringing it up earlier in the episode, and Mork was like full steam ahead, like why won't you know, like I want this, we want this, like blah, blah, blah. But in reality now the reality has come to it, Day is ready and
The
Mork
thing is
is
that
afraid.
their worlds become bigger.
Yeah,
They become braver, and their worlds become bigger. And while there are more possibilities, it's also scarier.
yeah.
And I really want to see where they're going with this.
I'm so afraid because what I fear is going to happen is I fear that he's going to get offered the job, or maybe he won't get offered the job and it'll be like, it's okay, it's all right, it doesn't matter.
Mhm,
Or he'll
mhm,
get offered the job and tell Day he didn't get offered the job. And
mhm.
then I feel like maybe there'll be a conversation, maybe either if he didn't get offered it, maybe the guy will ring him and be like, you know, oh, someone such and such pulled out. Do you want the job? Or maybe he'll ring him and say, like, are you sure? You know, like it's a really good
And yeah,
opportunity. And I feel like
and they
Day
will
will
tell him to
overhear.
go.
Day will overhear, and there'll be a big drama, and Mork will lose his shit. And yeah, I'm so afraid of how this episode is going to end. I'm
Let's
afraid
go
it's
watch it.
I'm afraid it's going to end with Mork leaving, and that is like I can't
I mean, he
fathom it.
said he promised he wouldn't let go too many times already.
Yeah. I
It
feel
is
like, but like there's only like he can't stay if Day won't let him. Do you know what I mean? So like because
exactly.
intrinsically this is the whole problem. Intrinsically he respects Day way too much. So if Day says go away, I don't want you here, or like whatever, he may not agree with it, but he's also, and depending on what Day says to him, like what language he uses and things
But
like
can you
that.
imagine if they said that thing about from before the operation or after the operation? After the operation, like, oh, like the main heroes will like break apart, and then the blind hero will have to look for the other one. what do they? What if they go separate ways, and then they will find him?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Day
I
has
don't
to go
even
after
know,
him.
because sometimes they do things that you expect, and then sometimes they do things that you don't. I really don't know. Let's just go watch.
Yeah, because I'm not really, because I can't really see. Like, it's funny. I kind of want to just put some stuff out there because I'm curious to know whether I'm going to be really wrong or not. But I can't really see Dane being like, I have to do this. You know, like I'm going to go and like leave Mork behind. Sorry, Mork saying this and leave Day behind. I feel like it's going to be more like Day pushes him, and I'm
Yeah.
concerned about what he's going to actually say to him to make Mork
Hmm.
give up, because I feel like because Mork is like, I feel like Mork from before the operation, if Day had said to him something really horrible and said about like how he didn't want to be with him because of like whatever, like something really
Hmm.
hurtful that, you know, would have maybe triggered past Mork, but he's like, he
Hmm.
was past that, that he would have
Hmm.
just been like, yeah, nice one. And just like, you know, hung around until
Yeah.
Day had got over it or whatever. But he's so vulnerable
He's,
right
he's
now and
very
so
vulnerable.
messed
He's
up.
breaking
Yeah,
apart. Yes,
that's right. So
he's so unstable right now.
If Day just has to say the right thing or like the wrong thing in the right way, he will maybe just like let him go because he thinks it's the best thing for Day. Like, I'm
Okay, let's
so
go watch.
afraid. I'm so afraid. Let's go
Let's,
do it.
let's go.
I feel like I'm gonna cry a lot. I'm just putting it out. I'm just putting it out there right now. Okay.
I have a question. Like, I'm watching Vice Versa right now, and if it's a Jimmy C series, do they always have to separate at the end for a period of time? Do they
Yeah.
always?
I
Do they
mean,
just
look,
have
I'm watching the trailer, and the trailer wasn't really that awe-inspiring to like make you think that it's going to be a happy ending necessarily. But I I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful because of the mother's monologue at the end that essentially we're going to see them get together, because this is just like, I hate it when I'm right about shit. Like, it just pisses me off. Like, I should be like, I'm so clever, and instead I'm just like, shut up, Zoe.
I understand what this is happening because they need some time on their own to figure their shit out and be, function
Their own
separately.
people.
So they need to meet one more time, but this time as potential lovers, and so that they don't have this caretaker and patient thing between them anymore. They
Yeah,
need
they
to
need to
shake this.
be on more equal footing. So it's
Yeah,
interesting that you mentioned that, because yeah, some time apart means that Mork will have advanced in his career, so he will feel more like even and like more deserving or whatever, and Day will feel more confident in his like ability to deal with each other, to deal with his environment. But yeah, I'm just like, okay, so part 4 of 4. So it's so happy in the beginning. They're at the hotel and it's like so cheery. And I was just like, oh yeah, it's going to end in tears.
the party.
Yeah.
The moment when the boss guy asks Day, can you drink? And he just answers, I can. And we don't even focus on this moment. But the thing is, like, remember in episode 4, this was such a big moment. Because, like, of course, like, I cannot see that I can do all the other stuff. But this time he's like, whatever, I can. And they just move on.
Yeah.
Because he's just as sad in he's learning and he's accepting and how to deal with people
Yeah.
right
And
now.
yeah, that's right. Deal with people's ignorance.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so Day saying that
Oh,
he
and
got picked.
yeah, he got picked because of BT again. And again, Mox watching face, concerned and holding hands, and again him like observing intently and being concerned, like
Yeah.
having
So many feelings about it. Yeah.
anxiety.
So, and this is and then Mork, of course, we get the scene where Mork says he didn't get picked, and as I said, before, I you would think I would like being correct, but I don't. I decided that I should just stop talking from now on. Zoe should just keep her mouth shut. But yeah, so him saying he didn't get picked when it's like so obvious to the rest of the world and us that he did, but Day
Yeah,
being so worried that he was the reason,
it
like
was
that
the
he had
reason. Yeah,
maybe distracted
yeah, because he's
Mork.
concerned. He's holding him back. He's
Yeah.
concerned that he's a burden.
And so, like,
He
the
tries.
way,
He tries to support him. He tells him it's
yeah,
okay. Maybe
yeah, and
next
when
time.
he
But
puts his hand on his knee, like Mork always does to him when he's offering support, it was so cute, and I love the way they focused on it, because it was like, it was, it was. I mean, I know this was shot way before you and I started doing this podcast, but it was like Pierre off went, "Yes, girls, here you go. Here's Day showing his support to Mork, and here's a visual representation of it."
but
Because he
listen,
kept
the
talking
Pinky
early on
promise.
about how he wanted to see it.
Why I think they will be together and they will be in Hawaii together. The Pinky promise was a serious thing. The
It
promised,
was, yeah,
Mork promised him to take him to Hawaii. It was a very serious moment.
yeah, I
And the
agree.
love confession. Oh my God, that was so
I
beautiful.
know, but just like before we even got to that, the playing the pool when and like when so much tied into all of this, but like when Day was like kind of afraid, and Mork's like, "Don't be afraid, I'm right here." And I'm just like, and then also when they finished like playing, like, they were splashing one another, and Mork put Day's hands on his shoulder, like to like reassure him that they were there, and it was like a little tiny serious moment in amongst all the, and I'm just like, there's all these little like things that they're doing, and like whether or not it was a direction from PA off, or whether it's just something that Jimmy did, oh my god, it really got me. I loved that bit. And it was just so simple. He's like, he put his hands on his shoulders. I'm like, it's not like he, did something
Yes,
super
yes.
romantic, but it was
No,
super
it's always.
romantic.
But the love confession,
Oh
oh
yeah.
my God, I got chills. I got
Before
chills. And you know
before the
what I
love
loved?
connection, the
But let
way
me,
he looks at him, I cannot say it enough about this show. The way Mork looks at Day, and then he's like, can't help himself. He has to say it to him.
you know what I loved about this love confession beside the way they say it to each other and the voice and the expressions and everything?
Mm.
When Day responds, he gets closer to him so that Mark cannot see his face. And he didn't see Mark's face, so they like it's equal.
Yeah.
He couldn't see Mark's face when he said that, and like Mark couldn't see Day's face when
I
he
loved this scene, but I couldn't help as I was watching it feel like it felt like a little bit of a goodbye as well, because of the
well,
way
yeah,
that,
because we knew
yeah, but
we
because,
knew
yeah,
it was
because
going to
we
happen.
suspected, but I feel like it's the way that Mork says it. Like he says, "I love you so damn much," that, and then Day is like out of nowhere, because like it kind of was a little bit,
Mhm.
and he says to him, "I just wanted to say it just so you know
I
it,"
don't think
and I
I don't think it's a goodbye. I think
no 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 no, but
this is a justification why. This is like, yes, I'm not going, and this is why, because I love you so damn much.
I feel like it's also tied in with the sister again. Like there's so much going on with Mork in this episode that is so intrinsically tied into her and her death. So like this is one of those things. It's like if someone close to you dies, like you have like a list of things you wish you'd said to them, and like at the top of it must be "I love you." Like you would feel you never said that enough if you ever said it at all. Like, so I don't know, it was like, just so you know, like it was like, just so I know that you know that I love you. Like it's like
Mhm.
he needed him to know it. You know what I mean? Like he needed to say it and needed him to hear it and needed him to know it. So, but it's just, I don't know, it's one of those things that was just a vibe. And I'm not saying I
And
thought it
also
was a
because
goodbye. It
probably
just
because
had that
the
feeling.
camera focused on Mock's face again, and concerning expression on Mock's face. He was lost
Yes.
in thoughts. If he had
Yeah.
his hidden agenda, something was going on with him, and
Yeah, it
we
was so
knew.
sweet. It was like so sweet and soft, and then you just got this zoom in of him. And because once again,
Yeah,
it's funny because like Mork has the luxury of Day not being able to see his expressions.
yeah,
Yet a lot of the time when he is doing this sort of thing with his face where he's concerned or where he's worried or stressed or whatever, he tries to keep it away from Day as if he could see it.
yeah.
So like this like right up until they're hugging and Day's sort of talking to him or whatever, like he's smiling and he's whatever, because you can hear that, like like if someone is someone once said it to me, I'm someone who smiles a lot, right? And people say to me when I talk they can hear it in my voice. So
Mm.
um apparently there's a big difference between when I'm not smiling and when I am. And so like I feel like that's a thing for him. Like because, Mork is obviously he's listening more because of the sight issue. And so it's almost like he wants to make sure that like what he's hearing is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's never concerning. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so many times when there's been at least a half a dozen times during this show where I feel like, especially since Mork has essentially admitted to himself that his feelings for Day, that he has been in pain or worried or whatever, and yet he's got a smile on his face while he's talking to Day, even though like you can see pain in his eyes, because it's like he doesn't want him to hear. It's like he doesn't want him to see it, so he doesn't let it inflect into his voice. But yeah, so this and then we're home again. We're home again.
Oh
I always
God.
I'm so triggered whenever they go home.
You know what? When they started teasing Day about the dancing and everything, I thought C was going to start twerking again on the 2 hour flashbacks. I saw a tweet today when from Safe House when they were teaching C to twerk.
Oh God, he started and he hasn't stopped ever since.
And he stopped. So yeah, and then we hear the mother talk in the background, and we see them going to the room, and everything unfolds. Dee finds the contract.
Oh, look,
Mork is called.
seriously, this bit, like, before that, when they're on the bed and, like, Day once again can't find his phone charger, which I think is, like, the funniest joke of this show, is, like, he's perpetually looking for his phone charger. And I wonder, I'm kind of amused. Like, I would love, like, a little cameo scene, like, from before he lost his sight. I feel like he was the person who, even when he had sight, was always losing his phone charger. Yeah, there's always someone, someone. There's, like, at least one
Yeah,
friend
I know
that's
someone.
like that. And I feel like maybe he was always that person. Like, it's not a new thing. It's not because he can't see. It's just he was always losing his phone charger. And so we have like I love how
May not say.
Mork says
Oh
to
shit.
him. Yeah, Mork says to him. Sorry.
My notes say, "Oh shit, Funkum. Oh no, shit."
Well, I love how, like, Mork says to him, if it's not in your bag, it's in mine. Like if it's not in your stuff, it's in mine. Like, it's like, it'll be here. One of us will have picked it up. It's like not a worry. But yeah, I wrote, like, Day finding the contract and using his phone to read it. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so bad. I was like, bravo, smart on Day's part, but also like, wow. I mean, I don't know. There's a couple of things in this as well, isn't there? Okay, so yes, Mork lied to him and didn't tell him about it, but also, Day, like, do you really have the right to, like, just read some random paperwork that you found in your boyfriend's bag? I don't know.
mean,
like,
he kind of has free reign to do that, I feel like.
Yeah,
Also
I feel like
because
Mork should have, like, hidden that better if he didn't want Day to find it, because, like, he has to know that this is Day's personality. But and then the phone call, yeah, like, he wants to go. You can see he wants to go when he's talking to the guy. Like, he must feel so good and so bad in this moment, because he's had so many people reject him, like, from, like, jobs and stuff like that, because of his past and all the rest of it. And this is, like, something that he's gotten on his merit, on and doing something he clearly really likes to do. And he's like, so he must be really, like, kind of like, touched and, like, feel very, like, a lot of gratitude and all the rest of it. And so there'd be some disappointment and all the rest of it, but it's just like, oh my goodness. And then the bit, it's just so triggering. This whole section was so triggering. Like, he coming into the lounge room, like, more coming to the lounge room, and them being all, like, chatty like a family, and, like, everybody's all like, like, happy to see each other, and there's no drama with the mother, and, like, Night is, it's all just really nice, and then it's not.
I just it hurt to see I mean Day talk to Mork like that, because from episode 2 he's been talking so softly with Mork. His voice was changing. He was like, Mork. His face was always different. Like, he was acting the way he was in episode 1. He was acting the way he was with Night, and it's so unpleasant to see Day like that. It's just like,
Well,
oh,
it's
please,
just like,
no.
because as soon as I realized what was happening here, I was just like, oh my God, both of their triggers, like, the things that we thought were, like, gonna be issues in the future, literally both of their triggers flaring up at the exact same time.
Episode 2 all over again. Episode 2 all over again.
Day's fear of being pitied and Mork's fear of not being there to save Day, and it's like, it's so brilliant. Like, it was so fucking brilliant. but at the same time, so fucking horrible. It was like literally how the hell could they do this to us? I like want to, you were talking about writing a petition earlier. I want to write a petition about this. I want to be like, this was fucking amazing, but how dare you?
Yes.
Who do you think you are? How could you do
I
this to
cannot.
us? And I'm just like,
I mean, we have been expecting this. This is so weird to say
I feel
because
like,
this series is so
yes,
all over the place. We are
it's
so
so,
all over the place.
it's so like, ugh, because
Uh-huh.
it's frustrating because like it's their own internal trauma that is like making both of them a little bit blind, although in this case unfortunately Day more so, because this idea of being pitied, like his deepest fear, and this is his automatic, and once again
I don't really think this is necessarily his whole what was driving him in
no,
this moment. He
he's
doesn't want to
trying,
hold him back. He was
yeah, there's
so
that,
mad.
but of course, but he is concerned. Like I feel like
He's hurt
and
for being the reason Mocha is not
following
given
his
a try.
dreams. Yeah.
Yes,
The thing is, until Mork leaves, he's not sure. Like he's afraid. He's afraid that it's pity, right? Until Mork leaves, he's not sure, because Mork leaving is once again Mork doing what Day wants, what Day needs for
yeah.
him to do, and it's the only way he can prove to him that this is not what it's about. So he will give
Oh
him
my
what he
God.
wants.
But this him saying his big sister died because he didn't answer the call. Because he didn't answer the call. We've been saying for so long that he feels so much guilt. And it's been very subtle so far in this series. It was like it was almost not there. Like it was like they were trying to trick us to make us think that he was blaming her for leaving him, or that he was angry at her, or that he accepted it or whatever, but we had this idea of him feeling this crazy amount of guilt, and here it is. Here
Yeah.
it's all finally coming to the surface.
And it's like the thing that I really did like about this scene is the mother's speech here is brilliant also, because it
Yes.
explains her behavior. And it also talks about the difference between the carer and the boyfriend side of things. Yeah. And it's like what she said, concern happens for no reason. And that's exactly right. That's exactly what's happening.
What happened?
He's not afraid here because Day is blind. Like, once again, it's got nothing to do with Day being blind. It's not the factor that's driving him. He's afraid to leave Day alone because the last time he left somebody alone who wasn't blind, his sister wasn't blind, she killed herself. Yeah. So, and because he wasn't there, because he didn't answer, like, that's not why she killed herself, but that's in his mind. In his mind, it's his reasoning for everything that's happening right now. He cannot leave Day alone. He cannot let that happen again. He loves him so much. It's like Day is the most important thing in his life. He cannot risk it. He is so afraid. He is so afraid that this might.
And he kept telling Day, I will not leave you. I will not leave you. Something that he did with his sister. From his point of view, he left her, and he did that.
And like then, but then Day saying to him, you know, like, you, one last thing, if you don't pity me, you'll do this. And it's proof. He has to leave because it's what Day wants. And what Day wants, fucking for fuck's sakes, Mork is going to give to him, because that has been his personality in their relationship pretty much since, like, he realized he was having feelings. And I'm thinking
he cares about Day. He cares about Day's feelings so much more than his.
Yeah.
Because he will feel like now if something happens today, he will feel like he left him.
Oh, yeah, he'll blame himself.
But
because
but he chose the danger of this happening instead, like
in spite of it, because it's what Day needs.
Yeah. Yes,
so
because
if he
this
has
will make
to suffer, if he has to suffer later on, then he'll accept that. It's the same thing he did with taking him up the mountain. He knew it was going to backfire and it was going to cause problems, but it didn't matter because it was what Day needed. So And oh my god,
Oh my
oh
God,
Jimmy,
when
oh
she
Mork,
said,
crying, sitting out the front, like in that space where he changed his mind in the beginning about
yeah,
taking the job.
oh my God, Zoe, but mom, did I do the right thing? I started crying.
Yeah. Well, because as you said, like
Oh,
he knew. Because this is the thing. My thing is I feel like until Mork actually leaves, there's a bit of him inside. There's this bit in him that can't let go of this idea that everybody pities him, like
yeah,
flared its ugly head up. Because why wouldn't he tell him? Why wouldn't he, like there's all these things. And Day said, and Mork saying to him, like, I can't leave you alone, it sounds bad, it sounds like pity.
hmm,
Like, when I was watching it, I was going, oh no, he's gonna misunderstand, he's not gonna get
yeah,
that this has
yeah,
nothing to do with you. It is all about his sister, and it's all about
yeah.
the triggers from that. And it's got, because she wasn't blind. Like, he's liking their situation with his sister, and she wasn't blind. He didn't pity her, but he's so afraid of something, like anything possibly bad happening. And I'm thinking about it, and I was thinking about how sad he looked in the scene at the canal as well, because it was like,
Hmm.
it wasn't just like this reason, this idea that maybe he might want to do something and not be able to do it. I do think that was part of it, because you could see he was sad when he was talking to the guy, like, it's a missed opportunity, it's whatever. But in the grand scheme of things, the way he feels, it's not that important. Yeah, he's a bit sad about it, but he'll get over it. Like, that's his mentality for it. The thing that's causing him pain and stress and fear is this, like, it's so funny, it's like this idea, like, I felt like he looked concerned and upset and tearful in that, in this canal scene, because the reality of it actually is this idea is, the more confident Day is becoming and the more outgoing he is, that he's not just staying in his room anymore. And it's so funny, because it's this thing that Mork has been leading him to since the very beginning of their relationship, where he encouraged him to get out and explore, and tried to show him that, like, he didn't have to limit himself, he could do all these things and all that. Now is creating all of this fear inside of him, because all of these outside
Just like it
obstacles.
was for the mother last
Yes,
episode when
all
she
of
was
the
so
yeah, that's
afraid
right. All of
because
these
she couldn't be there to
yeah,
watch
yeah,
Day, and
all of
now
these,
Mork can't be
that's right.
there to
All of
watch
these
Day.
outside obstacles in this moment right here, it's like, if anyone is going to ever understand the mother for real, it's going to be the way she behaved. It was probably always going to be him. And it's probably why he was so
And this is
respectful
why
for her. Yeah,
she understands him
she
now.
understands him too, yeah. But like how I was really angry because he was being so respectful to her back before, and like in the a couple episodes ago, I was like, why is he being so nice to her? And it's like, well, this
Hmm.
is probably why, because he understands her completely. He
Hmm.
understands, and any sort of animosity that
That
she
she's
may have had
scared.
to
Oh
have,
my God, yes.
yeah, that she may have had towards him in the beginning, is because he was the perpetrator of encouraging her son to go out into the big bad world, where he may not always be equipped to handle everything that might come his way, that there are dangers to him out there. So I can understand now, like, why she might have looked at Mork as like this, in this sort of somewhat negative way to a certain extent, because I'm sure, like, the more Day became confident, the more he seemed to be getting better, so to speak. It was so terrifying to her. And like,
I know,
Mork
right?
Mork totally gets it. He like so completely gets it. And this moment by the canal, I feel like it's so sad, because it's a combination of him, as I said, realizing that maybe he had a dream that he can't achieve, but also like, the braver and the more independent Dave comes, the more scared and the more clingy Mork is becoming himself, because he's just so afraid of what might happen when he's not there. Like, he can't separate Day and his sister. Like, it's so broken up inside of him. And it's this thing, like, that the mother said, where she said, like, when you love somebody, concern happens for no reason. Like, there's no logic to it. It just is. It just happens. And the fact that he has such a triggering, like, traumatic past, where something horrible happened as a result of him not doing something, or at least that's how he sees it in his mind. He he needs to get past that. He needs to deal with that, because they can't he can't always be there. He can't be holding you know, like they can't function that way, especially not when Day's trying to be independent and Mork's like going to hover around him for the rest of their life. Like he doesn't want that, and like Day like Mork kind of doesn't really want that either, because he obviously has like these interests and now dreams of his own as well, but like it's like he can't let himself do that, and eventually that would have destroyed them. So her monologue, like she's rooting for them, which I like, you know, like she turned me around. I didn't think she would, but she did. I am a mother convert, but the way this is written, the way the parallels were drawn, the way they brought them together in this way, and the way that, as you said, she really understands him, he really understands her, and that is why he's always been respectful of her, I think, is that besides being, you know, it's a country where you're respectful to your elders, besides that, he was overly so. They're so clever the way they've done this. It was done so well. But I'm just like, and at least her monologue is about like she believes that they really love each other and they'll find their way back to each other and all the rest of it.
I wonder, because this was a bit of a parallel to episode 2, I wonder if next episode will continue with the parallel from episode 2, the way they will reunite. Something connected to Prajay, something, I don't know. Maybe at the wedding, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, well, because that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's interesting though, because it looks like obviously maybe he comes back to Thailand for the wedding, but they cross paths at the airport, so it's like,
was
Day going somewhere? Like, what's Day doing at the airport? But the other thing that gets me is like that scene was so painful in the trailer, where like he's going up and Mork's going up and Day's going down, and he sees him, but like Day can't see him. This idea
and he
that
can
this
never
person,
approach him. He can never approach him because Day asked him to leave him, so it has to be Day, the one who approaches him.
Yeah, it's like I can almost like picture like at the beginning of an episode where he just is like following him around because he just wants to look at him, because he spent so much time looking at him and it's been so long, and he just wants to like drink him in, you know. I'm just like, oh, this
Stop
episode
it, you're making me sadder. Stop it, no.
This episode was so painful. But yeah, that could be because they're going to get married. It definitely looks like they're getting married in this next episode. I wonder how long it's going to have been, because we see them getting married. We see Mork is wearing like what is a higher level chef outfit, so he's obviously worked his way up. And we see that Day has graduated from university, and he looks like he's doing something a bit like what P.A.O.M was doing, because he's giving a speech to somebody.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's like, and he's very confident the way he is on that escalator while Day's like, while Mork's passing him, he is like a completely different person. Probably more like himself, more like he was previously to them meeting, but
also different because Mork was and is a part of his life.
Yeah, that's right. He's influenced him. Yeah, they've influenced each other. Yeah, I really do hope they end it like with them together, but I also don't want it to be like the last 5 minutes of the show, because that will piss me off.
I think it won't be. I think we'll see, because the way they structured the trailer, we saw him in the car and it looked like he was leaving. He was sad or something, right? It's towards the end of the trailer, but I think most stuff will happen in the first part, and then maybe in the second, third part they will get together. I hope.
See, I was concerned that maybe the scene where you see him in the car was actually him leaving again, and he's just taken Jasmine with him.
I think this is when he leaves
the first
for
time.
Hawaii the first time. Yeah,
I hope so, because yeah, as I said, I can't. That is one of my pet peeves with dramas, and K dramas sometimes do it. I find, where you have this huge build up. They're like in the last episode they'll do a fast forward or they'll do a whatever, and then they'll eventually put them together. But it's like 5 minutes where they're actually together, and it's just like, I want more than that.
one of the series where I usually hate this stuff when they get separated, but I really get it. I really get it here. Like they
Oh,
needed
they need it.
time
They definitely need it.
apart from each other to rebuild
Yeah.
apart
Day
separately.
Day needs to
Another
get
series,
his
yes,
ind
and I usually hate it, but the only series that I can remember that did it well and I felt like it was also needed, it was Justified was Coffee Prince. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
know it reminded me of that.
yeah. No, well, no, that I would agree with that as well, actually. That is, I feel the same about that. But yeah, it's just I feel like, yeah, because you need it, because Day was on this journey already. Like, he'd started on this journey. Mork just wasn't ready for him to be on it. And it's so funny because Mork started him on the journey, this journey of
It's
independence.
funny
And
because it feels like Mock is the one who needs it more than Day needs it.
yeah, more, that's right, Mork needs the growth. It's not even the growth, he just needs it. I mean,
He
the
needs to be not scared for Day.
yeah,
He needs to
he
be
needs to,
able
yeah,
to,
he actually needs to deal with his past trauma, is what it is.
yes,
So like we know
yes,
we know the anger thing is gone. The anger thing is gone because Day loved him, essentially. Like
yeah,
Day saved him and healed him with that.
yes,
But this like fear and this like debilitating, like almost like what's the word I'm looking for, when you are like dependency. It's so funny because,
codependency.
yeah, it's so funny because like Day is the one who's like has sight issues and has the disability, yet Mork is the one at the end who is like so codependent on him
Yeah.
and needs it and like can't deal. So it's interesting. So it's actually, you're right, it's Mork that needs to go away. He needs some serious counseling is the first thing. He needs to address this fear that he has, because first off, it wasn't his fault, and secondly, he needs to know that like this is not, it's not going to even if something bad does happen, it's still not going to be his fault, and it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be able
You
to stop
know,
it.
if yes, exactly. Even if something bad can happen, you cannot just live in fear all the time and be paralyzed and try to be with that person all the time. Like you need to be able to breathe,
Yeah.
both of you,
and also
both of
and
them.
also he's going to have this thing that's his own. Like when he came to essentially when he came to Day and they met, Mork didn't have anything of his own in
Yeah.
terms of like things to bring to the relationship, because he didn't, like he came there through a job. He didn't have a job, he didn't have money. I mean, he had a place to live, that was about it. And he
Hmm.
had all of these issues, and all the rest of it. They're going to come back together, and hopefully he will have dealt with his issues, and he's going to have, a career and a confidence in himself, and you know like, but it's just going to be, they're going to be on more of an even ground.
Hmm.
um so and hopefully, and it feels like Day is going to be in a place where, and this is not to say that like if you were to follow them in like a sort of a continuation, like slice of life drama of this, or if they decided to do an Our Sky for this, like, at some point or whatever, and Day did something, or something happened with Day, that like, it's not to say that Mork wouldn't potentially get triggered by something that might happen, because even with treatment and things like that, stuff like that could still happen. I mean, like, we're all afraid for the people we
It
love,
can happen with people even if you have no trauma. I mean,
That's right.
people
Yeah.
react
So
differently.
depending on the
So
situation, but I mean, this version of Day that it seems like he is going to be when they come back together, is he is going to be like
he's
his
going to
his
be the one who pursues him because I think the whole time they spent apart, they never let go of the thought of him. I mean, I think when he calmed down, he understood Mock, and he just decided, he knew that this is what they needed.
yeah,
Mock was not able to do that. Mock would not be able to make this decision for them. They need
yeah.
some time apart to build
And it's
themselves up.
interesting, and this is the thing as well, and I mean, to a certain extent it makes sense, because for Day to be the one that kind of sacrificed here, and I might get like eggs thrown at me for saying that, but because he has a support system, he has Night, he has his mom. Mork doesn't have anybody. He needs to learn how to take care of himself. because the only thing he's been doing since they met is he's been taking care of Day.
Yes.
And anytime he's taken care of himself, it's been in direct relation to how he can make things easier and better for Day. It's not once been about how can I need to do this for me. Like, it's not been about that. So it makes sense, as you
I
said.
was thinking unrelated, but I was thinking about the fact that like the mom is a big chef, right?
Yeah.
And we had this idea that Day only eats her food and blah blah blah, and like it's funny that he becomes a chef and he becomes someone that the mom can give this torch to, like, okay, you can make food for my son. Just so cute and funny at the same time.
Well,
I
it's
don't know,
funny
it's
because
like it's a nice touch to the story.
well, it's funny because I was thinking about like how as I was watching, I don't know, my brain works in mysterious ways. But as I was watching this extremely traumatic thing, my brain was also thinking about like how can they come back together? Like what not like how can they possibly, because of course they love each other, they'll come back together. But like in what
Mhm,
circumstances? And so this was before we saw the trailer where we saw that like it looks like Knight and Poor Jay are getting married and stuff.
mhm.
And it's cute because it looks like Day has been involved with like Poget and the kid and everything, because looks like there's a little scene in there where, like, maybe he's helping decorate a birthday cake or something. So like,
There was
maybe
only what if we do get a scene on the bridge? What they if they meet at the wedding and they like talk and blah blah blah, and then things are kind of left in the air, and then they like Jay goes to find Mock and he finds him on the bridge.
yeah. Well, I was wondering that. The other thing I was thinking was like in terms of, as I said, circumstances for him actually getting there. Like we're assuming that he goes there for the wedding because we saw them getting married. But these are things that we may just get like a little montage of, like we might get him leaving, and then we might get like some time fast forward, and might get little montages, like 6 months later, and then like they're
Yeah.
getting married, and then like
Yeah.
the kid is turning 1, and then Day is graduating from
Oh my
university.
God, you keep talking and I hate this so much. I hate this so much. Because it feels like I'm leading all this time. Like years are passing by and they're still apart.
I
And
know,
it's so
right? I'm hoping it's not a long time, but it has to be a little bit of time because Day's graduated from university and stuff. So anyway, so this
it
is
can
like,
happen in different ways. It can happen in many different ways, but
oh yeah, but I had this idea, like I'm taking a really long time to get to, but anyway, I had this idea that because it's not really obviously very clear like what the mother does. Like we know she's this like famous chef and everything, but does she
Mhm,
own restaurants? Does she like what's the story here? Because wouldn't it be interesting if like Mork came back for a job offer and not knowing, and maybe she's been like tracking him, like she's been tracking
mhm,
him and like seeing how he's going, and like
mhm.
watching his
Well, I
development in
think
terms of.
if he is like a chef for sure, she does track him. She is
But do you know what I
aware.
mean? Like
I think
seeing how he's
yeah,
going, not just
yeah,
like
yeah,
in his
monitoring.
career, but also like in his like his own self, and that he's still single. All these things. Day's doing
Yeah,
really
yeah.
well, and then we go from this mother who literally like tore their hands apart to a
Mm-hmm,
mother who like sneakily brings him back for a job offer that maybe he doesn't realize is coming from her, and
mm-hmm.
he's like going to be running his own restaurant or something like that, and then we find out she's done it because she thinks like it's enough time now, they need to see each other again. I'm just like, what if something like that
I
happens?
actually, no, I don't know, I want it to be they who, I mean, that can happen anyway, even if
Oh yeah, that
something
could
brings
still
them
happen.
together
You
and
still
they
could have
can,
this like
yeah,
awkward conversation and then just like walk leaves, because
yeah,
it's
but
like,
this is what they told him to do. This is what he'll do as long as they doesn't tell him to come back or if they doesn't follow him.
yeah, because
Oh
it's like
God.
there's this thing, if you think about it, the scene from his surprise birthday party that, you know, he thought was a date with Mork and then turned out to be something completely different. And, you know, Mork disappears in the middle of that. Like, he goes away, he's hurt, he feels dejected, he leaves, he walks the flower market and, you know, grabs a flower and comes back and, like, whatever. So, like, what if we have a scene that's a bit like that, where he turns up at the wedding or something like that, and he has this experience of seeing Day being super confident and happy, and he doesn't need him anymore, because don't forget, a lot of Mork's memories and feelings and everything would be tied into the fact that, you know, like, Day needed him. So, like, he sees him, he's super confident, he's not, you know, like, hanging off by himself, he's mixing through the crowd, he's, you know, talking to everybody and laughing. And, you know, so Mork watches quietly and then, like, slips out and leaves because he doesn't feel like Day needs him anymore or whatever. Like, he's good. He's like he was at the birthday party. He's like, I'm happy because he's happy. Like, I can be happy for him, you know. Or maybe he sees him talking to someone else or something like that. So he leaves, does his sad walk through the fucking flower market, picks up his, like, sunflower, and is, like, you know, standing on the bridge, and Day comes looking for him.
Yeah. This is the way I see. This is something about the bridge. Yeah, the bridge.
Yeah, I feel like we need the bridge, and I would be happy if Day finally, Mork finally got a chance to actually give Day a fucking sunflower. Like, if there was a sunflower that didn't end up on the ground, I would be really happy about that, because I feel like we need this full circle moment. But yeah, I thought that was really mean of them to in this episode to have, like, Mork collapse outside the house, like, pretty much in that place where it all began.
Yes.
Where he made that decision to go back in. Anyway, well, it was really good. Look, let's face it was a really good episode. It was a really fucking painful episode. They are so mean, but it was also really brilliant. And so I kind of, like, I feel like, I don't know.
So this basically,
there's a reason why everyone is liking this show. This show is very well written.
Basically, if you think about it, the operation and this whole thing happened so that, like, we could see, if you think about it in a if you analyze why things are done, so so we could get an end of the character arc and everything. So the operation was done so that we can have Mork freak out, basically, and
they
them
accept it finally. Yeah,
they accepted finally, yes, of course, but yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but also,
yeah.
I'm
glad we saw it. I'm glad we saw it. And, like, even just, like, that scene between the two of them where Day is, like, you know, talking about him pitying him and him going, like, it's not, he's like, he knows himself. I feel like Mork knows himself, like what he's saying is, like, he knows it's kind of wrong, like, how he feels, but he knows, like, that the wrongness isn't pity. Like, he knows it's, like, got nothing to do with that. Like, he's like, this is not even what's going on right now. Like, it was so well written, it was so well acted, it was so well directed. Like, the thing about this show, because this was written kind of, wasn't it? This was not a book. This is not based on a book.
Yes.
I wish they would make more, like, BLs that weren't based on books. Like, I get it, some books are good, some mangas are good, like that's fine. But so many of them are, like, crap as well.
You can feel that this is a passion project. This is something that feels meaningful because they wanted to say something through this. This is why it's so special. And
yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination. I think the acting, if it had different actors, if it had a different director, you know, like, maybe they wouldn't have done it justice. But, like, the combination of these things, it really works.
Yeah, it's just very good. It's very good. I'm so happy I made us
yeah, because I wasn't really overly excited. I mean, I was going to watch the show, but I really did not think I would have much to say about it. I believe I said something to you like, I really don't think I'm going to have anything to say. And then, like, since the first episode started, I pretty much haven't shut up. I must admit, I haven't gone quite down the rabbit hole, as far down the rabbit hole as you, but I definitely have not shut up. So, yeah. But
It's just, it's weird because the more emotional I get, the harder it is for me to express myself. So this is this is a downside of me going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this is the thing, isn't it? Morella likes to express herself in weird noises and caps lock.
Or I need some time to
Yeah,
calm
to
down
come
and
back
think,
and
and
yeah,
like
come
this
back
is a
and then
yeah
have
this is why I
insightful
like the critical
conversations.
discussions more.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of those things where it's like I feel like this sits at the same table as Not Me. Now, Not Me was based on a book, but basically Pinucci and Pinulik like completely
Yes,
rewrote that. So
I agree.
and so like I feel like this combination of a written script versus something that is tied into this thing that already exists, the right actors for the right parts, the right director who has a vision and a message, a very clear, true, very important, very yeah.
I'm just so happy that they did what they set out to do.
Yeah, they
They
follow
have like
through.
it was weird because I remember like watching it before Last Twilight, and the PA off was talking that when he gave Jimmy the script, he wrote on the script something like I hope something like I hope you know why we're doing this, something like this. And why would they be doing this if not to tell a story of hope in spite of everything,
Yeah, and
in
I mean, I
spite of
feel I
everything?
feel like, and also that is a message that I feel like a doctor would understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
It's just
So
amazing.
but yeah, I really do think that don't get me wrong, we had Dangerous Romance was our first show we started with the podcast, and I
I
think that's a
know.
brilliant show as well. I think it was very clever with its imagery, the characterization was really good, the acting was really good, but I feel like this show and Not Me sit at the same table, and it's because of the like
The
independent script,
message.
the the fact that there are these really important messages that they're putting in there.
Yes.
Now I know people watch Dangerous Romance
Important
and we're
messages and amazing execution.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people watch Dangerous Romance and wanted some sort of like stronger message than Dangerous Romance had. However,
Hmm.
this message that they wanted was a class system message, whatever, blah blah blah. And honestly, even if they had gone there, I don't think that would have been enough for me to sort of put it in
No,
the
but
same category.
what would be the message regarding the class
But I
system?
feel
Because
like that
it's
is already
complicated. Like,
it's
everyone is a person, you know.
yeah,
You
but not
cannot
only that,
choose where you're born,
it's
and that
different.
this is what they said.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Like it, it's and it's a story that's been told a lot. Literally, like pretty much what every show we're watching or every show we've watched since we started the
Yeah,
podcast, Dangerous Romance, Cooking Crush, this one, they've all got
yeah,
class differences in them. So it's
yeah.
represented enough. This is the
Hmm.
really interesting thing that this show did and that Not Me did is they're telling and don't I'm not saying that Dangerous Romance wasn't just as good or just as brilliant or just as interesting or entertaining because it was. I just mean in a different way. And so like
Yeah.
these two shows have this place for me, I feel like, because of the messages. Like we had and also with Not Me, we also they did also attempt to address this like misunderstanding and this like idea of disability in Thailand, like by having we had uh well, I'm just trying to remember what first character's name was. Is it
Yep.
Yoke? um he, like him saying to his mom, like, don't worry, I can look after you, blah blah blah, and her saying, I can work, I don't need you to look after me. Like this commentary that like just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you're less than and that you can't do these things, you can't take care of yourself, you can't be an
Hmm.
active participant in the society that you live in. And so they touched upon that as well, besides all the other stuff they were touching on. And then of course we've got this one. They're just very interesting, very pivotal topics to what's going on, I believe, in that country at this time. And I don't think are bad things to do, like in any country. Like, I mean, we're a pretty like good education, good whatever system country where I come from, but I have so many things to say about our education system. Like, I feel like we don't really learn our native languages here, like the people who were here before us. And I feel like, you know, our Aboriginal people, they're a bunch of nomadic tribes and stuff, but they kind of did live in areas. So I feel like I have these really strong feelings about, you know, the primary schools in those areas should learn to speak the language of that tribe or whatever, because some of them are becoming like not extinct, but like unknown languages. And it's a really it's a shame. It's a history of our land. So I feel very strongly about that, but I also feel very strongly about, I feel like it should be compulsory that all kids in primary school, like you know, I don't know what whatever you call it, like in, you know, first few years of schooling, learn how to do whatever version of it is, like whether it's American Sign Language, Australian Sign, whatever it is, ASL, like sign language. I feel like it's something that should be taught in every school and every kid should learn it, because things like being deaf and stuff like that, it's like, it shouldn't be something that isolates people. It shouldn't be a thing. It should be something that where we can have open lines of communication and stuff like that. So I have all these thoughts about stuff like stuff like that. And so this show for me it's really interesting, and I feel it's really important, the message that they've told, and they've done it in such a way that is like, hopefully people are paying attention.
Yes. Hopefully they understand why certain things are done the way
Yeah,
they're done.
I really do hope, once again, as I said, you know, like we were talking about how a lot of people seem to miss the point at the end of like the
Episode
last
9.
Twilight moment,
Yeah.
and then in today as well, that, you know, like these things aren't happening with them because Day is blind. You know,
Yes.
Mork isn't sad because Day is blind. Mork isn't afraid because Day is blind. Like these aren't this is not what's
Well, it
going
is
on.
a part. It is a part of the story, of course.
Oh yeah, it's an important intrinsic part. I mean, that's the whole thing about it is in terms of Day's journey and everything. But
In
from
terms of
Mork's
Mork's
perspective,
journey, from Mork's
yeah,
perspective, it's not because Day is blind. From
no,
Day's perspective, it's different.
yeah, that's right. And from Mork's perspective is, yeah, it's not because he's blind, and it's not I forgot what I was gonna say. my brain's already like, you've spoken enough. That's enough out of you. Like, don't you think you've said enough already? But yeah, it's just it's very well done. And but I'm very impressed by the shows that GMF have put out so far this year. The ones that we've watched anyway. So I'm very much looking forward to next week, even though I'm still a little bit afraid. I will be afraid until this ends. I was like that with Dangerous Romance as well. Like, I was like, I know they're going to do it right,
What
but
are
I'm
you
still
afraid of,
scared.
though? What are you afraid? No, I'm okay. I trusted them regarding this episode. So I trust them right until
I
the
think
trust
it's,
that.
yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to pronounce it well. I will trust them right up until the end.
What did you say? You're trying to pronounce what?
I'm trying to not stutter.
Oh. You're going to
So
trust them till the end. Yeah, I don't not trust them, and I do think they're going to end up together because of the monologue that we got from the mother. She wouldn't have said that.
It's not about being together or not. It's about if it feels satisfying or not. And I think it will.
To me, it won't be satisfying if they're not together. So that's just the thing I have. Like, if
They
it's
will
a
be
romance,
together, though. Of
if it's
course,
a
they will be
romance,
together. Are
and
you
I've
kidding me?
invested like this much time in it, and like, let's face it, we've invested a lot more time in it than normally watching a show because of the podcast, then they better be together or I'm gonna be pissed. No,
They will be together, Zoe. Don't worry about it.
The thing I'm worried about is how long it takes for them to get there, because we only have one episode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
well, it is what it is.
If this had happened, like this episode had been episode 10, I would have been like, oh yeah. episode 11 is the episode where they're apart. Episode 12, they
Yeah,
get
but
back
at the
together.
same time, we will not be losing time, you know? We will not be showing scenes that do not have meaning. Because so far, like most things, I cannot remember something that was
You're like,
there.
I trust them. I get it. I get it. You trust them. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to remember something right now that
It's like
I did not
you
see
could need.
the point of. If someone who listened to this podcast, no, we'll talk about it in the Last Twilight party
Yeah.
episode.
If there was something. If there was
Yeah,
something.
like I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and on that note, we have next week's episode, and then we're going to be filming our Let's Talk Last Twilight with Kirst. And so we need to know if you guys have got any questions or if there's any topics you want us to talk about. Otherwise, it's just basically going to be the three of us probably like talking over each other, arguing and like giggling a lot. So, I mean, if you're into that, that's great.
Right.
But like we'll be doing that for at least half of the episode anyway. So we thought we'd, if you enjoyed our Let's Talk Dangerous Romance, we want to kind of keep it sort of in the same vein of that. So we're looking for some interesting questions. We're looking for some, was there something that happened that you didn't like? Was there something that you weren't sure about? Are you someone who knows if it is actually eye donation that they're saying? Tell Zoe. Zoe needs to know. But yeah, like we would absolutely love to hear from you guys, and you can reach out to us on Twitter or on Tumblr, or we've just created the new Critical Obsessors chat on Telegram, and you can find the link for that. It's on our pinned post on Telegram. And so you can drop a question in there if you want as well, or you can email us.
Yes.
And what is our email address? Because I can't remember.
I think it's our.criticalobsession@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm pretty sure it's on our card that's in our pinned on Twitter and on Tumblr anyway. So if you go there, you'll find it. So we also accept smoke signals and yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so you can and also anyone who wants to join the Telegram group, it's not just to do with the podcast. There's like a lot of different conversations going on in there, just about BLs, about ships, about like whatever. Come and find your people. And if you're not sure, if you've never used Telegram before, like we can help you out. It's not that it's a fairly, once you get used to it, it's a fairly easy, fun kind of platform to use. You can leave voice messages, you can leave text messages, you can share files. It's a lot of fun.
So this is it.
Yes, this is it.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
And
Bye.
Bye.